on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our analysis here. So I was just saying, the bot has been doing awesome. I'm going to just get right into it. I've got two bots running. I've got one that's running with Binance, and I have another bot that's running on Kraken. So essentially, this is from today on the 16th of November. This is the performance. It only trades Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's it. Because I'm struggling to keep up with the bots and the API requests and whatnot. So it's tough to stay on top of it. So right now, as I said today, it made $3,800, and it's been really good. The performance of the bot so far in Bitcoin, which is the symbol, funny enough, on Kraken futures is pi_XBT_USD. And the performance is, in my mind, unrealistic, but there it is, 92%. 26 out of 28 trades today. Also for Ethereum, it's doing really good as well. This one could be a lot lower for the day, depends on Ethereum, and this one's performing at 83%. 10 out of 12 positions that are winners or profitable. And then overall, I do keep track of the P&L, the profit and loss at 3,800 US, because that's in US dollar. And the return today would have been 36%, just for today alone on that. Now, I got to put out there, this is all equivalent paper trading, and it's not real money, but the way it's going, I'm probably hoping to pour some cash into it. Probably come maybe Friday. I always do that before I go live with a bot. So that's the Kraken bot which trades in the futures market with both Ethereum and Bitcoin. Okay, so now I'll move into the other bot, which is the I'll move into the other bot, and this is the other bot. Just want to say hello to all our regulars, Al, Boyd, Adrian, all them. Thanks for joining. Okay, so this is the AI bot. Sorry, the Binance bot. Now, I know we have somebody on here who's been watching this, Boyd, back in August and early September, where some new coins come out with a DeFi movement in crypto, where we've gotten like a really good example is YFI, where it had close to a 10 time return in a very short period of time, and a lot of other coins that you see here listed in Tether and USDT have performed exceptionally well. These are this is just for today. These are the top performing coins today, and this goes up and down and whatnot. And a lot of the top performing ones are DeFi coins. Now, the performance is nowhere as close as Bitcoin and even Ethereum. Bitcoin's the granddaddy of them all. But this type of test is totally different from the other type of test. It puts a trade in on a base minimum that Binance allows, which is 10 US equivalent dollars in Tether. And that's why the P&L is very tiny for a lot of these, because that's the return on those type of position size of those positions. So the return is not as strong, but 18% is pretty good for a day, versus the other one of, as I said here, 36%. So your P&L, won't be, quit your job kind of money, but for whatever the total amount put in, you're going to get back about 6.58%. And I've seen days where it's been as high as, let me make sure I got that correct. You would get back $6.58 US in Tether, but the total return would be about 18%. So when I started this bot maybe 9 days ago, it would have brought back a total of $662 with a total return of 41%. That's 41% over 2 weeks. And here you got another bot, the Kraken one, which has been only operational since last Wednesday, bringing you 89%. You know where the money's at. And when crypto's moving, namely Bitcoin, it's just the performance is unbelievable. So the position sizing here would be if you gave me a Bitcoin last Wednesday, you would have gotten back, based upon the performance of this thing, you would have gotten back $13,532. Okay, back in your account, netting out the commission rate of $5,900. So I do track the commission rate of both Kraken as well as Binance. Now, as I said, you guys can jump in anytime you want to ask questions. By no means, it's not a really formal presentation, but I'm just going over the overall reporting P&L since the inception of both these bots. So there's this is the original bot I started with, and they're trading in the derivatives market, better known as the futures market. And from what I'm seeing lately, the futures market is very active. The volumes are on Binance about 1/3 of the spot market, and Kraken as well. It's getting fairly significant as well. You can just go on a CoinMarketCap to track that yourself every day if that's what you want to do. But the reason I created the Kraken bot was so that I can target Americans to be able to have this signaling service that I'm hopefully going to get running in the next couple of days. And the original idea was to have it for Binance, and this is giving you pretty good performance overall. I'm pretty happy with it, and that would serve anybody that can get access to Binance, the exchange. But unfortunately for Americans, they don't have access. So that's why I created this bot, the Bitcoin Kraken bot, and this one, just by sheer accident, and the timing could not be better. We're able to sit here and go, give me a Bitcoin, I'll make you $3,800 for the day. Yesterday was a very quiet day, $284 yesterday, $11.99 on Saturday, and so on. But this was the big day on Friday, where you would have gotten back $5,800. So these are really, really, really big moves, really, really big returns. Now, I have to put a caveat out here. This is not income statements. These are not income returns. This can change at any time. So do understand, this is not something I'm going to sit here and guarantee you for the rest of your life. Just right now, these are the moves that I'm seeing Kraken and both Binance offers in terms of cryptocurrency. AIS, does Kraken allow U.S. to short Bitcoin, or U.S. investor are only allowed to buy and sell currency? It's been a while. For you, Al, I do believe you can short on both Kraken and Binance in the futures market. So you can do both, and you could do it in US dollar and some other currencies like Australian, Euro, I think even Canadian, British. So you have that flexibility with Kraken in the futures market. Binance is Euro only. The other big advantage is, I just talked to somebody, I put up a video on a private video that I can give access to with a person in Malaysia, and we went through everything, and I wanted to know what the leverage you could get with Kraken, and to my surprise, they were offering 50 times with Bitcoin, which is unreal. So imagine you take your return, multiply it by 10. If you have the capital in the account, you would be bringing back, $130,000 in 5 days, and magnify it from there and scale it up to what you want. But the only way you can do that with confidence is to get these kind of returns, these winning ratios of like 80-90% throughout the week. But that really, really depends upon the overall high-level market conditions, because September was a very abysmal month for volumes, and it was probably a more money-losing month for both September and October. October picked up when PayPal came along and said, "Hey, we're now going to offer PayPal to do your purchasing in crypto, namely Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin." So that now legitimizes crypto. Okay, and it's gone from 3,000 merchants worldwide now that take Bitcoin to 23 million merchants. It's that kind of impact that has really sparked Bitcoin, and that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin's been moving. It's not moving as much as I'd like. I'm seeing calls for next year of Bitcoin to go up to 31,000. I've seen calls go for 100,000, and these are on like Bloomberg articles. These are not like some whack job website. These are like Bloomberg, and I've seen some of the articles are saying that Bitcoin could go up to $1 million. I find that pretty far fetched, but that's taking a large assumptions that the market is always going to move up with Bitcoin. But I will say this, that when you get guys like Boyd that's been coming out and Adi as well, the thing is that these guys understand that crypto is the place to be. They've seen the August moves and it's died off in September, but I think this period why crypto is moving, namely Bitcoin, is because we have a couple of things, and I mentioned this in the video, here, I'm gonna have to remove here as the background noise there. Okay, so like I was saying, here. Okay, yeah. I got Alex. If you can just self-mute yourself in the background there. Thanks, man. All right, so what I was saying, to the moves are huge because of yeah, go ahead. You can't? Okay, hold on. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Yay, can you guys hear me now? Okay, great. Okay, so what, like I was saying, crypto is moving up, namely Bitcoin, because of national debt for a lot of countries is a big factor. You got China right now digitizing their currency, the yuan. 2 weeks ago, IMF made rules now for all the other countries out there to start digitizing their currency. You've got now banks launching crypto exchanges. You have also people like Dr. Doom going on about the shitcoin. He didn't believe it, but now he's admitted last week that Bitcoin's a legitimate value of store. So you got all these naysayers coming aboard the Bitcoin train. That's basically all aboard and up it goes. So that's why Bitcoin's moving, among other reasons. And you can't hide the fact that Bitcoin is moving. Where will it go? I don't know. But like I said, there's calls for 30,000, 100,000, a million, who knows? And as I said, anybody can ask some questions whenever they want. Al, again, what's your take on cryptocurrencies with a new administration? It looks like there will be a rollback on payroll tax from 24 to 28%. As I was saying, with Joe Biden, I'm not going to get into a political view of it, but I do think that Joe Biden has promised taxes to be increased. There's going to be the talk of socialism, basically taking money from people that are hardworking and giving it to the poor, which a lot of people don't like. So when you compare all the other major assets out there, or asset classes or instruments out there that gives any form of performance, it's crypto. So it's going to move up large. Again, I don't know where, but it will move up. And then these stories being built out from it where, yes, this is why crypto's moving up. I don't know what the value of crypto is right now with Bitcoin, but in that video, I did talk about it. Let me just pull up the link here. So I'm just going to look up the value of Bitcoin right now. So it was 16,300 about 12 o'clock my time. So right there, it's already gone up $16,725 in 5 hours. This is why this thing's moving and making really good money. So there's that. I'll get to your other question, Al, about the ledger. So there's that. That's one of the reasons why it's moving up. And I don't know right now, but if I was to show you the chart, which actually I can show you right here, the low point for crypto, at least Bitcoin's been around in April, and now it's starting to move up. And there's no other asset class that gives you that kind of performance. So Al's asking about a device called Ledger. Let's talk about that if you want. So in the world of crypto, we have this device for cold storage called Ledger. As it's French, so I call it Ledger as a joke. But this is a pretty good device where you can store all your crypto on it. There are reports of people somewhat hacking into it. I think it's just like anything else. If you're stupid administering these things, you're going to get hacked. And that's the problem. I have one. I've used it. The beautiful thing about these devices, it covers like probably 100 plus wallets or different types of coins, and you can store wallets on this and actually get your Ledger device create a wallet for you, because that's one way that the government's able to track you is through the Ledger, through your wallet ID. But you can anonymously create it, put it on the blockchain, and no one would know where that wallet came from or who owns it. Okay, so that's one of the big advantages of these devices, and they're really cheap. So if you want to get a Ledger Nano X, they're like 120, I think, US. They're very cheap, and they're really good. And it's a great way to store crypto, what they call cold storage. Yeah, it's 160 US, or in my case, 160 Canadian. So there's that. And as I said, the big factor I love about it is it's able to dynamically create your wallet ID for you. So that's a big advantage with Ledger. Yeah, I'd get one. And what I will tell you is when you do get crypto and put it on these devices, and you can transfer from that wallet to your exchange. If you do it to Binance doesn't care where your crypto comes from. They don't track that. But what I noticed in Kraken when I set up the account, they do track, because what you have to understand with Kraken and Coinbase, once you open up these accounts with either exchange or any US or Canadian based exchange, they do the KYC, know your customer, the anti-money laundering, which is all fine and good, but they will signify back to your tax authority that you just opened up an account with a crypto exchange. So they now know that you are about to trade crypto. And what I do notice when it comes to Ledger on Kraken, they know that wallet ID did come from Ledger, and they do track that on Kraken, and I'm sure they track that as well on Coinbase as well. So be aware that if you're trying to quote unquote avoid tax, I'm not here to promote it, but yeah, it's hard to get around it. And if you are trying to reduce your tax, to be honest, I don't know if you heard last week there was a article that came out from Deutsche Bank in Germany that said we want to add a 5% privilege tax because you have the privilege to work at home. Then you have other people that are on frontline workers because of this pandemic. Therefore, we're going to surcharge you an extra 5% as a tax called a privilege tax, and that's taken out of your pocket. So is that right? In my mind, no. And the only way to avoid these sort of things, and we haven't even talked about Joe Biden and good old, Kamala Harris, what she's going to be bringing out. The only way to avoid these taxes and these levies, to be honest, is to move to a country that's tax friendly. And I talked about that in the video with this Malaysian person as well. So that's my view of Ledger. So if you guys got any other questions, just let me know. I can continue to talk about the performance of these coins. So I've talked enough, I believe, a lot about Bitcoin. Now let's talk about the difference between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin. Okay, what I will tell you, when I was building this bot, I would say, actually I got an article on it. Let's just give me a second here. This will help you understand the breakout of volume and what currency is what. So let's see if I can find this. I always forget about articles I put up, but I just remember this. So I did an article on this in an actual video. Let me just see here. And what it is, it shows you exactly the breakdown of Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Let me just see if I can get that video or that post for you. But what I will say in a nutshell, that between Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's about 90% of all volume in Kraken. Okay, so right now you're looking at probably 60% roughly would be for Bitcoin because it's performing, the volume's there, liquidity's there, the profit moves are there, and they're big moves. Okay, and you got Ethereum, which would be about 30%. And then out of that, you get the rest, which is the altcoins like the Litecoin and Ripple. Out of that, you may get, I think it was like 1% of like, maybe 2% of Litecoin and a 1% for Bitcoin Cash, and then Ripple. Okay, and then you get all the other little coins out of that, which would not even make up maximum 5%. So out of that 5%, you got another 700-800 coins to work with. Okay. And that's the kind of breakdown it is for performance. Now, because of that, with Bitcoin being so, like, what's the word? Just so liquid, I think I have a log here I can show you. Just to show you, let me see here. I have a breakdown of each move of the trading log, but what it will show you is you can get trading positions that will make $500, $200, or $30. So when you look at just the profit level per day, because of Bitcoin being today the 16th, okay, right now, this number right here, this daily number of 38.22, that's $3,822 you would make today up until 6 p.m. roughly, between midnight my time, Eastern Standard Time, New York time, and 6 p.m. my time. So with Bitcoin, that one Bitcoin, you would have made nearly $4,000 with the moves and the bot that I'm getting with a 92% win ratio. Out of that, most of that will obviously come from Bitcoin, but then there's another small amount that will come from Ethereum as well, which is not very much. Maybe out of that, maybe a couple $100, but the bulk of it will be Bitcoin, and you will be making large money with Bitcoin. Okay, so like I said, at 12 noon today, Bitcoin was at $16,300. So just in the last 6 hours or so, it's gone up $400. That's Bitcoin moving up. And when you have those kind of moves, those moves per position gets bigger. Add in the leverage that magnifies your profit level per position. But you obviously only do it when the market conditions allow. And today, since Wednesday, for sure, the market conditions allow it. So this is why Bitcoin's moving large, like huge. I'm not joking when I say it. I have my other computer right now available, but I don't want to mess around with the settings I've got here. But just to give you, I try to give you a right up to date on the performance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I've already talked about Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, and Litecoin. Litecoin has done fairly well. So if I was to bring up CoinMarketCap and just give you just a rough breakdown of CoinMarketCap on the 24-hour moves, for instance, of all the coins out there, here's your 1 hour move, like your 24-hour movers. You got this one here, Litecoin. It's moved 20% in the last 24 hours. You got XRP, which moved 8.37. Chainlink up 7%, so on and so forth. And on it goes. You got another one here that moved Aave, 16%. So my little bot, my Binance bot will trade that. Okay, so I'm going to get into those coins as well, about that bot. But this is the bulk of where the profit lies right now. And as I said, it can change anytime, any day, where these profits are not going to be around. Like August was an amazing month up until mid-September. As an example, for a DeFi coin, I can bring up probably the what I call the trade of the year. on TradingView. This coin here called, let me just bring it up. It's YFI USDT. Okay. When you see these moves, it's just mind blowing the kind of returns you get on this. So if you get YFI USDT, let me just choose Binance here, the exchange. So remember, this is mid-August now. So if I did, let's say, a 6-month view, this coin came out roughly, I believe, in July. So you see here, you have a coin that's around, let's say, $4,000 in August 15th. And by within a month, it's already up to, $43,000. So that coin has gone up times 10, okay, in a matter of a month. And that's a DeFi coin, a DeFinancial coin. And that's how good August, September was. It was unbelievable, probably the best day in any form of trading you could ever ask for. And you could throw money at this thing, you would have gotten back 10 times. So here it comes sliding back. But look at what it's done since November 4th, 8,500. And it's already moved double in today's the 15th, in 10 days. Okay, so there are other coins out there that outperform both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Where you make money, in let's say in Bitcoin, is like this. So if you load up Bitcoin either in Tether or USD, it's the same at all. But you look at April, so you have that big drop in April, March when that pandemic hit. But look at the move. It went from 4,800 to right now to about 16,000 and moving up. But here, let me just get rid of this. Oh, this is so annoying. So you can see the steepness of this curve. It's steady but moving up. That's a move now that's gone up almost double your money between March 12th till October. But look what happens now that we have an election. We have wave 2 coming in with a pandemic. Look how steep that curve's gone. It's gone from 10,000 to 16,000 in just around 6 weeks. That's because that's the crypto. That's what the pandemic has done. And what I'm seeing as well with Kraken in the futures market, the orders are huge. We're talking $50,000 orders, $100,000 orders of positions. I see those orders because I have access to it. That's another beautiful thing about crypto, namely in the futures market, because you get access to what's being traded and the quantity of what's being traded as well for either the bid or the ask. Okay, and because of that, you start to see the size of the orders, and as a result, you compare that to Binance. They're small orders, but when you bring it back to Kraken, you got somebody out there, most likely algorithmically or systematically, are putting in orders of 50,000, 100,000, and a lot, like a lot. Like if I was to show you a snapshot of the order book of Bitcoin and USD, you'd be shocked in the size of the orders. They're huge. I mean, they're like $100,000, $200,000 orders being pumped through it in a matter of like a second, and there's like 100 that I have access to in one snapshot. Like the moves and the amount of volume is crazy. And I think being on Kraken, the reason for that is because you have Kraken being the only exchange out there for the US that it will support Americans. Okay, so those kind of orders being pumped through, namely since October, I think are institutional traders that are trading through Kraken, that I can see those orders. And those institutional players, those trading desks have stepped in since beginning of October and started really ramping up that price. That's what I think is happening. And the only game that they have right now that they can legitimately do it is through Kraken or the CME. But I think they prefer Kraken because they don't have the crazy margin requirements that a Bitcoin future trade would require on the CME, and it's cheaper commission as well. So this is why I think you're starting to see this thing really take off, because you have, as I said, the only game in town for Americans, and namely institutions that have where they can invest or trade algorithmically is in Kraken, and that's what I believe. So when you look at the volume per day, I mean, look at this. Look at the volume. I haven't seen this. $1.4 trillion a day. I mean, that's crazy volume. I've never seen it that high in my life. Okay, and then when you look at spot versus derivative, and I broke it down by derivative market. Let's say in Binance. Binance is trading 8 billion here, futures trading. You have Huobi out of China at 7 billion. And on top of that, you have the spot market as well, where Binance is at 12 billion a day. You have Coinbase at 600, and remember, this is a spot market. You have Coinbase at 623 million, and then you follow that up with a 628 million. So the volumes are just massive, and it's nothing to do with DeFi, because with DeFi it was about 8 billion a day. Here, between just alone on Binance. Between Binance, you got 12 billion here and another 8 billion. So that's roughly 20 billion a day being traded on Binance alone. And then on top of that, as I said, when you look at the actual cryptocurrencies being traded, you got $1.4 trillion. And I'm starting to see news reports say, oh, Bitcoin, the value in the market cap now of Bitcoin's bigger than, I don't know, like 10 countries in Europe, or is bigger than Canada, or bigger than what the wildest dreams of the new SDR that they want to put out from IMF. And this is a huge concern for governments and a huge concern for central banks. And guess what? With all this stuff going on and the threat of taxation, the threat of socialism and all that, the only game in town to make money in is here in Bitcoin and anything else crypto-wise. So this is why Bitcoin's exploding right now. It's just going crazy. And it just started like a month ago. And that's why you're seeing the numbers that I'm pumping out, theoretically, again, paper trading, but the potential's there for it. And again, we're just trading one Bitcoin. But as I said, if you're able to put out, 3,800 today, Friday, 6,000 a day from one Bitcoin, can you imagine if you went 2 Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin? It's unbelievable right now. And I think it's going to build as things get crazier and crazier. So I'm going to shut up. If you guys got any questions, just let me know. Because I can talk about the future of where things are going to go for both Ethereum and DeFi, because that's another story in itself. But right now, crypto's the place to be. Anybody got any questions? Yes, no, maybe, who knows? So let me show you the video if you're into this. This is from talking to a guy out of Malaysia this morning. It's a 2-hour video. Hi everybody. Oh, I gotta shut myself up. Okay, so I put out, I think, 3 videos today. Okay, so there was this video I put out a few days ago. $6,000 in 3 days. So now I'm happy to report, okay, that same bot is giving me, since Wednesday, total return of $13,532 in 5 days. Okay, so that number of 6,000 is now gone up to 13,500. So anyways, I do have a video here that's not shown, but if you go to my blog here, let me just go to my blog. Where's my blog? In here, this was just posted today. I think it's this video right here. Yeah, it's called Malaysia Crypto Call, about winning. And during the call, as it was trading, it made $900. And I think this video is about 2 hours long. So right during that call with that person, it made $900. Okay, so and that's from one Bitcoin right now. So it's major. If you want to get access, just look for this. I'll put this in the chat. If you want to get access, let me know. Give me your just email me, and I'll gladly put you in and give you access to it. It's a private video because I want to protect the guy's identity as well. So I believe that video is about 2.25 hours. If you want access to it, just let me know. All right. So there's that. Anybody else got any questions? Because then I'll move and talk about what I see in the future. So right now, Bitcoin's and that's a shocking number. $1.4 trillion traded per day. And you got to remember, all of Forex, all Forex globally is $4 trillion. So you got Bitcoin that has now broken through 1/4 of that. So just let that sink in, okay? Because that's how big Bitcoin is going. And by the end of the year, it may be half of what Forex trades globally. And we're just talking one coin, okay? So that's that. No, you don't. You don't get that. You don't get that kind of breakdown. But with the futures, as I said, you will get. You will get. I don't know if you can hear that voice. That's the bot doing its entry and exits. But that is not disclosed who it's from. But you do get the quantity of both the bid and ask. So that is available through only futures exchanges like Bitcoin or Kraken, or sorry, Binance, Kraken. Coinbase is spot only. I cover that in a question today. So if you want to trade in the U.S. on the futures market, your only choice right now is Kraken. There is another exchange that may take Americans called FTX, but it is bigger as well. Does that answer your question, Boyd?
It does. But can we see how it has progressed, how long it has taken to reach $1 trillion?
The best way to do that is either through a platform. I have Bonowave here. So if you have a platform that shows that, so let's say right here with Bitcoin, you can see the daily volumes here. So if I moved it to, let's say, 1 day, I can see the daily volumes right here. So that's the only way you can see it. You can see the volume. Well, yeah, it is. But as I said, that Binance, I do think I'm seeing the order size. It's definitely institutional. It's not retail. It's definitely institutional. What's that?
They must have just started trading Bitcoin big time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do, when you correlate it back to the performance, it's right here around early October when just Bitcoin started to really take off. Because when you look at let's say a monthly view, okay, you see here it's gone up in 2017, and just right here it's starting to move up, and that's all institutional money. I mean, I don't know who it is specifically, but I do know there is a difference between institutional and retail.
Yeah, that's very exciting, because when you look at Forex, how long did it take to get to 4 trillion?
Oh, decades. I mean, Oanda is one of the first Forex brokers out there, and oddly enough, it's the engineering guy found out of my school at Ryerson. He started Oanda in the early 90s. So you look at just Oanda, let's say 93, 4 to where we are now. You're looking at about, let's say, just 25 years conservatively to build up the $4 trillion globally. But remember, that's everything. That's like all swaps between governments and institutions, right? So this is just a speculated asset called Bitcoin, a digital asset. But I really didn't think it was $1.4 trillion. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's
I didn't think, because there was an alert that went out and said that Bitcoin's now bigger than the entire GDP of Canada.
No, I don't think so, not yet.
Anyways, but okay, so Al asked, to be clear, for U.S. citizens that would have to trade on Kraken. Correct. I have gone through, so if I was to walk you through every single exchange out there in the derivatives market, Binance, they don't take you. Huobi won't take you. Bybit won't take you. BitMix, they don't take you. Bit.com, I wouldn't trade on. All these other ones, I don't know. FTX may take you. OKX, they don't take you, but they'll take Canada. And Deribit won't take you. On and on it goes. But the only one in the top 17 is for the US. So you only have definitely one, but the second one maybe FTX. If they take Americans, I could find that out right away if you wanted. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. What about to buy a single coin? Which exchange? Kraken. Yeah, I would say if you got the value of one Bitcoin, which is now officially $16,700 put money into it, you would already be up today $3,800 right here. Okay, and you know since we started the call, we might be already up probably a couple $100. So the place to buy it is on Kraken as well for Americans, and focus on the futures market, not the spot. So Al asks again, it's been a while. I was a bit scared about the whole IRS thing. You really can't. I mean, if you're gonna try to do wonky things outside of a legitimate broker, like let's say Binance, as an American, the CEO, the founder, CZ's forewarn people, don't try to get around as an American resident to trade on Binance. They'll close the account and you will lose your money. And that can be said for any other exchange. Whereas if you go legit through a broker like Kraken, you're good because it's regulated, it's protected, and that's the place to be if you're American based. If anyone else got any questions, let me know. This is an open thing because I can go into the next round of altcoins and Ethereum as well. So Kraken would have the correct paperwork. Thanks. When you apply for Kraken, I know Boyd's applied for Binance. It's much easier than it was, let's say, 6 months ago. All you got to really do is go through the KYC, the know your customer process, submit all your photo ID and all that. Once you're verified, then the next thing is you can send over money right out of your account via Visa debit. So it's much easier now. And if you wanted to go through the ledger, you can do that. But again, they're going to know about it. So you really can't get around it. So you got to stay legit. Here's a real, really a big pisser for me about the whole process. So here's the thing. We got a Bitcoin bot, let's call it, made in the last 5-6 days 13,000. Okay, let me repeat. Net wise, this bot has made $13,500. Okay, so out of that, you have to add on the commission, $5,900. Okay, so 50% of what you make, half of it goes to the exchange. Okay. There's no ways around it. It's an exchange with excessive fees. Okay, so if you're in Canada, you're in the US, I don't know what your laws are when it comes to capital gain. Here in Canada, we lose 50% on the capital gain. This $13,500 would then also 50% of it would be taken back or clawed back by the government for their 50% take on the capital gain. So essentially, you could make roughly $20,000, all said and done. A third of it goes to the exchange, and then another half of, once you net that out, goes to the government for your tax. That's what I hate about this. So as I said, can you avoid any of this? You have two options, and your best options are these: you get out of the country you're in, U.S., give up the citizenship. Go to a tax-friendly country like Malaysia, as an example, or Singapore, or wherever that's tax-friendly with zero capital gain. Live there, reside there, and now you can go to Binance to shave this commission fee from 1.6 to 1.0, okay? And then on top of that, you're going to get a little bit more put in your pocket from the commission when you move over to Binance. On top of, you will not lose capital, any tax with the capital gain. So that's the only way to avoid tax, unfortunately. But that's why I built the breakout of the commission. And that's one of the things I want to highlight, how excessive it is. That yes, you can make a lot of money, but you got to worry about the stupid commission fees on top.
Can you reduce that commission?
Yeah, these commission fees you're looking at are from Kraken at 1.6.
But in terms of frequency, how many times you are trading, isn't it?
Yes, because it's your entry 1.6 and it's your exit 1.6. So you're being charged on the round trip 3.2. And then you net that out to this, and now you got to give back 50% capital gain. Am I happy about it? No. Can you avoid it? No. And then you get Ray Dalio saying that governments may ban Bitcoin. And then if you get Canada, US, Britain, whoever in the West decide to ban Bitcoin, hey, maybe you might be in a jurisdiction in another country that loves Bitcoin and it's the best thing in the world because... Yeah,
Why does he say that?
what's that?
Ray Dalio? Why does he say that?
Well, he figures because it's this. Let me see here. This right here. Okay, if you go into the crypto, 24 hours, you got crypto. Binance is now 1.4 trillion. That's why. Because that's now money leaving the country, right? Wherever they are. And they don't want that. So you cannot, no one controls and owns Bitcoin. It's not central to anybody. And that's why the IMF and all the central banks want to get rid of it. So that's why I think Ray Dalio is saying, yeah, it's growing so much now that it's gonna debase all the currencies out there, and it's a real threat to the system, the financial system globally. Because like I said, you got 4 trillion of forex being traded per day, and now you got just alone by Bitcoin at 1.4, and that's just in the last few months, maybe last month. That's why. Does that answer your question, Boyd?
Yeah, but there is a lot of money. That's the other reason they're
Well,
a lot of coins.
what's happening is a trend right now, and if banks are smart, which I said in my video to the Malaysian guy, I said, look, there's a trend happening right now in a lot of third world countries is their banks are offering a crypto exchange for their clientele to trade in. So think about it. If you get, let's say in Canada, you have 5 banks in Canada. They all got together and created their own crypto exchange. And then they went to their customers and said, hey, look, we know you're not going to make any cash savings with Canadian US dollars. But if you take what's out of your bank account and trade in Bitcoin, okay, and buy Bitcoin and speculate in Bitcoin on these exchanges that are controlled by the banks, why would the government not support it? Because now that's taxable income. That's taxable revenue.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what I think will happen is you'll start to see banks offer local crypto exchanges that you can trade in and take your Canadian US dollar or British pound and move it into a bank crypto exchange. And it would make sense, and the banks will support it.
That would be good.
Yeah, for everybody, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets an investment and they get return on that investment, especially in their savings. There is some speculation there, sure. But if they allow it, it's a new tax revenue for the governments.
Yeah, more especially now that almost broke all of them.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. So anybody else got any questions at all? Because I'm not sure where everyone's from. I know we got Germany, Canada, wherever else, I don't know. Where everyone else resides, I'm always curious to know where people are based. I mean, we got 9 people on board right now. It's not a lot, but it's a great time to make money, serious money. right now with crypto, and namely in Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the next wave. Okay, so just so you know, Ethereum 2. We've talked about this. It's finally going to come out right here. So Ethereum 2, Vitalik Buterin, the guy who started Ethereum, he put a deposit in, I think it was $4 million into the blockchain in Ethereum, and it should expire first week in December. Okay, so what's going to start happening is you're going to start seeing Ethereum 2 start to pick up in 3 weeks. Okay, so right now you've got a Bitcoin moving like crazy, and I do think you're going to start seeing Ethereum 2 come out, and that's going to outperform Bitcoin. So you can imagine the performance huge. Now, in terms of my bot, this is already ready to go for Ethereum. Okay, it's ready to go. Whatever Ethereum does on Kraken, it's going to profit off of, and it's already trading at anywhere between a 60 to 80% win ratio. So it's ready to go when this starts to happen. But where the real excitement is are these Defy coins. Okay, and there's going to be new ones coming out. Because what happens is with the DeFi movement, and for anyone that's new to it, is a financial, decentralized form of different coins. Like if I took you to crypto coin market cap and I wanted to show you all the different currencies, okay, in here you're going to get you're going to get different types of coins. You're going to get DeFi, which is a new classification of money. Basically, it's new competitive blockchains against Ethereum, against Bitcoin. Okay, so these are competitive new type of money blockchains that you can invest in, and you can see the moves right here. You got Aave up 14%. You've got this one WPTC up 5.57%. These are 24-hour moves. 5.99, 10.74, and so on and so forth. So that's the most recent big movement in crypto. Then you can move into this other thing called storage. And this is like, let's say, I don't know if you guys know what BitTorrent, like you have your your network of pirated software, pirated all that. I'm not here to support any of that. But if you wanted to have a crypto coin built around that, it's there. It's called BTT. That one's the longest one, been out there for a while. But you can see here there's a new one called Filecoin. My bot picks it up. It can pick up some good trades. But this one's the big one right now. This one called Ocean. If you were to go into the news about Ocean, funny enough, I never heard of this until maybe 2 weeks ago, because it's fairly new. Let me just show you what the news was, and this is about in Germany. So Ocean is a protocol introduced. It's built on Ethereum. Okay, the Ethereum blockchain. So now Ethereum 2 comes out, and you get this little known altcoin project will be utilized by Germany's central bank. So what happens? That coin all of a sudden moves, okay? And you can speculate on that and make really, really good money. So let me just load that up in terms of performance. Again, remember, this is YFI. Look at these juicy moves from 8,000 to 16,000 in like a few days, like in 2 days, okay? That's another DeFi coin. But if I was to show you Ocean, again, this is on Binance, let's say a 1 day, look at where it's moving from roughly 255 to 6,000. So it's all already doubled, okay? Because of this one story of Germany is now going, the central bank out of Germany is going to be all over that coin, okay? So this is one of the exciting things happening in the world of DeFi and all these other little coins, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to see with the new Ethereum, you're going to see not only Ethereum explode in value, But you're going to get all these little coins like Filecoin, BitTorrent, Ocean Protocol, SIA, Filecoin. Look at the market cap. Okay, it's at $983 billion. That's chain or Filecoin, and that's fairly new. Okay, so the potential's there with this market cap just builds like crazy. Then you get into the DeFi coins, and you get, again, Chainlink's the granddaddy out of that lot. Then you get these other coins like Aave, Uniswap, YFI, and so on. And they do really well. So as the new Ethereum 2 comes out, it's new features in the blockchain, and you're going to get these coins moving up on top of other new projects where they're going to go and explode, like watching penny stocks. Let's just go from 50 cents to $10, okay? As I've shown you, the YFI is a good example of that. So that's the future, okay? That's the future of crypto over the next, I'll say, 3 to 6 months, starting in December, first week of December. So you have that again. That's the bot going, but right now that's over the. That's the next few months. So you have right now Bitcoin on fire, and then you have these other coins, Ethereum 2, DeFi starting to really take off. So Al's asked, I thought there was another exchange. Does bot keep you up all night? No, this bot trades 24/7. So I go to sleep, I'm making money. I let it run in the morning. By the end of the day, I made, well, here, I'll just show you. As I said, like, this is the daily volume or profit potential, okay? Again, these are not income claims. So yesterday it would have made $1,200 US. Today, as it's moving, like as it is, it would have made $3,800 today alone. So Friday was the big day. It was almost $6,000. Let me find that. So we have here $412 on the 11th. Of November. The next day, the 12th, it made $1,966. It's almost $2,000 that day. The 14th, let's say, it made another $1,100, and then I think the 15th was the big day, $284. But there was one day where it made nearly $6,000. So this is right here. So that made $5,800 on this day right here, on the 13th of November. So that would have made $6,000. And Keepa wants to see an example of a trade. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I can turn up my little bot here that's speaking, and it says entry, exit, entry, exit. Does that help you? I don't know. This is Paul from Thailand. So that's why I have that feature. That was really by accident, and this thing speaks in two voices. The male voice is the Binance bot, entry, exit, and it'll tell you what it's exiting. Can you guys hear that thing at all?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Okay, yeah, that's the bot talking entry, and the female voice is the Kraken voice, the Kraken bot. So it'll say pi XBT, and that's the entry for, that'd be the exit or entry for Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's probably the best example I can give you is the voices of the two bots, the male versus the female. So I don't know if that helps you out, but if that's
They're making a lot of money.
Again, as I said early on, this is not real money. This is play money. This is all, like, if I'm going to design a bot that's awesome, I want to make sure it's going to make me money before I put money into it, because I've seen it where it does well for a week and then it craps out. So I want to make sure this is sustainable. But from what I'm seeing, based upon what I was talking about with Bitcoin, yeah, it's making money. It's moved from nearly 10 grand in October 12th all the way up to $16,500. There's a few exits for you right there. That's the Binance bot. So if you want, I can show you some trades, and maybe I should. Okay, so I've got here some some samples here. I guess this is probably a better example. These are all the positions available from one day. So this would be from November 6th, okay? Actually, let me get a better spreadsheet here. Let me get you a more recent one. Let's go through the 13th, the really big one. So this is the bot for Binance. So what I've done in the reporting is I've broken it out based upon the coin. So it's all in Tether and USDT. These are the number of wins. These are the total number of trades. And then that's the win ratio. Okay. So in some of my reports, I not only do that, but I in my other spreadsheets, I break out, here's the entry before commission. Here's the amount for commission on the entry. Here's the exit price before the commission, and then the commission amount as well. So let me look for that as an example. Oh yes, I think it's right here. No, I don't have the breakout via in detail, but I do have logs that track that. But part of the thing that made me want to talk about this is the actual coins. So here on this one, November 13th, one trade made $27 and it was 100% winner. And then this one, let's say LRC and USDT, 10 wins out of 14 gave me a win ratio of 71%. And as I said, I'm able to break out each and every trade. So Paul asks, hang on here, let me just, okay. So there's another question from Al again. Are you setting a percentage for selling, for instance, if the currency is down by 5% in terms of stops? That's a hard question to answer because the trading's been so good. What I do is it only trades the top performing coins. So meaning I put a threshold of, let's say, a 3% move of the last hour, and these bots will not trade anything less than that. Let's say 3%, it could be 5%. Actually, it adapts to what the market conditions are. So based upon all these scans of all the available coins out there, it looks through a screening process to see which ones are the really high performing coins. And that's all you need. And then you base it upon hourly moves, and then you look at the order book of those coins in the futures market, and you just do a breakdown on the bids versus the asks, and you can build a entry off that. And then once the position's put on, you can look at, again, the bid and ask in the futures market, and then base a exit out of that as well. And that's what I do where the stops aren't needed. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it does lose a little bit of money, but the stops are needed because it's programmed to only screen and filter out the highest performing coins. So if it's moving at 3% or 5%, chances are it's gonna win trades, and that's why you have these high ratios. So for instance, if you look at some of these weaker coins here, you know, these are coins that you don't want to trade because they have a high probability of losing for whatever reason. But once the opportunity for trades on these coins here, namely like LRC or Litecoin or REN or TRB, we're now working off a probability. So those are going to be higher potential trades. So when that entry comes up, it will look and say, well, should I trade it or not? Will it take the trade or not? Takes it based upon, this is one of the factors that it looks at and says, yes, probability for today says, yeah, I'll make money. And that's what it does. And that's why you get a higher ratio of winning trades. What is the recommended size of the account? Look, man, Paul, you could start, if you watched that video, I don't know if when you joined, but as I said, if you're new, I've got if you look in the chat right here, I've got a link I put up right here. You can just capture that. In there, what I've done is I talked to somebody out of Malaysia, and he asked the same question, what do I need in the account? And as I said, when you look at this little bot that I'm working on, the Binance bot, it's only putting in orders of $10 per position. Okay, so you could start as low as $20, $30 in an account in Binance. Okay, so you can have a small size account. Will it perform? Maybe, because you're going to cap out on the available capital in the account, so it won't trade as frequently and you won't get as much profit. Whereas if you put, let's say, just as an example, a full Bitcoin into a Bitcoin account, or sorry, Binance account, again, you would have gotten these kind of returns over the last week, 13,000 on that 16 grand, and you would have gotten an 89% return on that investment of the Bitcoin. So you can put in as little as you want, but if you want to scale up your profit potential, again, depending upon the market conditions, you can do awesome, like 89% in less than a week. I mean, yeah, you could do that for sure. But again, it depends on the market conditions. I think there was another question. Okay, so we covered that. So yeah, let me go back to the spreadsheet here. I'm just going to randomly pick one of these again. Let's say the 14th, right? So here, as I said, we have, let's say, 13 trades taken for that day with this RUNE coin in USDT. It had 10 wins out of 13 with a 77% win ratio. That tells you for the day that coin's going to be profitable. Again, based upon probability. But if I showed you the next day, it may not be traded at all, or it may be a money loser. So the point here with this Binance bot, these coins come and go every day. And some will do amazingly for 2 days and you'll never hear from it again. Meanwhile, you can have one coin that will do amazing one day and it'll be a money loser the next day. So it's very variable in Binance with these little DeFi and alternative coins, whereas today, right now, with Bitcoin moving, I'm not saying it's guaranteed you'll make money, but when you have the win ratios that I'm getting of 80 plus, 85, maybe even 90%, I'm not saying you're going to guarantee to make money. As long as the market conditions hold, you'll do pretty good. And as I said, if you want to add in the leverage and you can do really well. So your account size can be any size, $10, $20. Obviously, the more you have, and you feel more confident with the actual coins that you're trading, based upon probability, you can scale up those trades and increase the trading scaling on those particular coins that are trading really well for the day. So, but again, those coins can change the next day. So, like I said, you could get these coins here, like YFII had 2 out of 3 coins that, 2 out of 3 trades that were winners and brought me back a whole whopping 1.7 cents. You know what I mean? Or you can get other coins like this one, Aave, that will give you 24 cents. So it's a whole mixed bag of history here. But at the end of the day, this particular coin will only focus right there. The entry, it'll only focus on those high performing coins. And that's namely in the futures market and in Tether USDT. So I know that's a long-winded answer, but yeah. So has anybody else got any questions at all or comments? I'm here to answer whatever you want. You can listen to bot trade if you want. So right now, if I was to hear Bitcoin, I would love to be able to show you what it's trading profit-wise, because I'm on 2 different computers here. But I purposely set up tonight on my Windows system. So that right there was a trade with Uniswap. So if I looked at that live on my Binance and looked at Uniswap, this one right here, you can see that big bar right there. So if I looked at a 15-minute chart, you can see it's profiting right there in front of you. Okay, and that's gone from, what is it, at 3.5 all the way up to 3.8. So that, in the last few minutes, or last, I don't know, half hour, that's a 10% move right there. I mean, it's that good right now in the crypto space. But it's really good. If I was to show you the Bitcoin 1-minute chart, look at these bars from 16,700 16,800 in just in a matter of a few minutes. And you could pick up these trades. So what my bot does, it's on the order book, level 2, and it makes money in these leg ups. As long as the entries show, yes, this is a condition that it will be profitable, it'll put the trade on, and it's making money off of these leg up moves. And as I said, it's getting 80-90% of them profitable. You know, and we'll only do maybe 10 or yesterday, let's say 13 positions were taken yesterday, but Bitcoin went down yesterday. So if I showed you the daily chart, you can see for 2 days it was red, but today it's come back. Okay, so that's why you don't get as many trades for that day. Whereas on Friday, which was the $5,800 day, you can see those moves, just solid moves. Or if I was to trade it on this day, November 4th, that's where I would have made a bucket load of potential cash based upon that one move. And that's, again, a 1 day. So if I was to break it out to, let's say, hourly, just these large moves is what's driving the profit. And looking at the level 2 order book, it's able to determine, I won't say, but it's got an 80% win ratio. So look at the order book snapshot and then gauge what it's looking for. You know, and it's making money there. So if I looked at that CRV, which just traded, which is curve, okay, we'll see if that's profitable or not. There you go. You got 4 bars. Last 4 hours has been profitable. I break it out onto one minute. It's just been nothing but a solid move up. So that's what this bot does. It does typical scalping. And I can probably look up BAND now as an example. So to answer anybody's questions. So we may have had a money loser right here. But out of that, it's win ratio for today on this particular bot. I really haven't broken down the win ratio, but I can do it by coin when I do the reporting later on. But, you know, and I can see right now which ones are moving up to the last hour based upon this was processed about up to 6 o'clock for today's trading. So the most profitable out of that would probably be this one, the RUNE and the AVE. So let me show you those. So if I look at RUNE, let's see what that, you can see here, and that's a minute. Let's do the hourly. So this is probably the most profitable one. It went from today, low point at 56 cents all the way up to 95 cents. So you're right there, pretty close to double your money today in the last 24 hours. And the other one that was profitable is AVE, this one right here. So if I pull that up on an hourly basis, you can see right here. So let's say the 13th, 2 days ago, $52, 50% move in 2 days. Any other questions? So these are the coins that are really performing really well. These are the coins.
Use the 1 hour time frame?
No. You want to be in the futures market on the order book. So we're sub-second.
Okay.
So I know you follow the motive wave. You can maybe do it, but all this bot is written in Python. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you can't trade in motive wave. You can. Okay. So, you know, if I pull up my little watch list here let's see if I have my watch list. You know, it kind of gives you what's moving right now. These are all the coins in USDT. So, but there's a lot of questions here that comes in. It's a percent change on what? Percent change in an hour, 24 hours. That's one question out of that. And you can see which ones are the most profitable here, obviously. So we have here YFI. I mean, it's a big coin. But there's some limitations trading the motive wave, but there is a solution I'm working on where it's like a signaling service. So what I'm doing right now, I've got all these questions. I put people through. I talk to them. I'll customize a solution for them in Python to get them set up, and then they just sign up for the monthly, and they can trade live through the signaling of the same bots I got here, and trade them and synchronize them with their setup, with, let's say, with Binance or Kraken, whatever their exchange they want to go with. Or what I'm looking at doing is hopefully, because MotiveWave supports Kraken, what I could do is build an automated strategy. If you know MotiveWave, this thing right here, all these strategies, I can build a strategy that will accept the incoming emails. Once the email comes in, you can set up a profile and then be able to say, this is what I want to trade, this is the size of the trade, the lot size, so on and so forth, and then just set it up, have the strategy receive the incoming emails of signals, and trade on your behalf through that trading strategy through MotiveWave. So that's another option I'm looking at as well. So, but the
When are you coming up with that?
but well, I'm coming up with that based upon market demand. The thing is that do remember the one other limitation with MotiveWave, it doesn't support the futures market. It's only spot.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing is that it's hard to say. So if I send a trading signal of Bitcoin from Kraken, let's say Kraken futures market, and you trade that in the spot market, question is how is the price synchronized between the spot and the futures market? And if it is, I see no reason why I can take the same concept, get a signal from the futures market, but trade that signal in the spot market for that coin, be it Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's what I'm also looking at as well. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to program, they don't know how to build these things. So, if I can build a solution that helps people, I definitely will.
Well, I mean, that's your point, because people should have different options, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the problem, because I was trying to build a solution earlier in the year, and I had 100 different people say they want this, and it's really hard. And by the time I was ready to go around building it, the performance of the thing was dead, because it was all based around DeFi, and by mid-September, like, I could have built the thing and it wouldn't have performed at all, because DeFi died in mid-September. But here we are now, in the last month or so, we've got Bitcoin moving like crazy for different reasons. And that, as I said, that does not guarantee the future of Bitcoin, but I do think when you look at Ethereum, and if you can trade in Binance with all these other little USD alternative coins, your future is pretty good for the next couple of months. But as I said, when you get, from my view, these kind of numbers in terms of market cap of what's traded, let me just see here. Like with coin market cap, I mean, this is unreal. $1.4 trillion traded per day with Bitcoin. That's massive. That's like, that's a quarter of what the Forex market has globally. That's how big Bitcoin's getting. And will it continue? With the political instability and all this taxation, I do think that it will continue. It will continue for a while. So, but again, I can never guarantee nothing right now. But if you were to get in on it right away, I mean, the numbers already say it for themselves. Like 89% return in a week. That's unheard of. People think I'm BSing. But that's why I bring up the charts. You've been around for a while, a couple of months, boy. You know what we're talking about, right?
I know.
I mean, just right here since October, that steepness of that Bitcoin curve. I mean, you're looking at movements of, let's say, $10,000, September 19th, 2 months later, it's at $16,000. And institutions are now getting in on this big time, especially the U.S. based ones, because I'm seeing the orders on Kraken are just massive. $100,000, $50,000 orders for Bitcoin. And Ethereum's kind of moving. And again, when you look at Litecoin, where's Coin market cap? If I showed you the 24-hour moves, look at this. Litecoin moved 18.99% in 24 hours. I could trade that.
Providing that as a service now?
I could, but again, it comes back to good old Kraken and the restrictions that it puts me under, where I can't have 3 coins. I don't think with what I'm trying to do here, I can't watch 24 hours all 3, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, because of the restrictions. The only way I can get around that is by creating another Kraken account or go with another exchange and just focus on Litecoin. That's the only way to get around it. And because the restrictions of what I can do on the number of requests I put out there to the servers of whatever exchange, they limit me. I mean, to be honest, Binance is fairly generous, but I have had to go roll back from first it was every minute, and then last week it knocked me out and I had to reduce it to 5 minutes. Now I have to reduce it to 10 minutes, and that can hurt performance, you know. And then I have the same problem with Kraken, and the restrictions on Kraken's a lot worse than Binance. So the only other way to get around that is to open up another account, let's say Coinbase, and just focus on, let's say, Litecoin, because I have to pull this thing all the time, you know. And I'm trying to find ways to limit the number of pulls or requests I put out to the servers. And because what I'm saying is, because I'm trading off of the order book, I'm not doing a bar every hour. I'm watching, like I said, not sub-second, but it appears sub-second. But I'm pulling probably every 5-10 minutes right now, and I'm still getting knocked out. So this is my dilemma right now. Yeah. So if I go into the charts and again look at, what was that, CRV? So it's trading right now, you know, little bar here. So you can do really well. I mean, curve's on fire right now. We can watch this play out on let's say a 5 minute. Okay, so it's gone from 78 cents to 89 cents. It's 10 cents. Since 1735, so 5:30. So for the last 3 hours, we can watch this trade and see how it does. And there's like over 700 coins in Binance to choose from. That's just like, it's crazy, the coin selection. And I'm just trading in the futures market. And if I moved it to the spot market, I mean, the opportunities when crypto's on fire, it's on fire. And I can only focus on the ones that's going to give me 5-time return instead of the one that's going to give me 3-time return. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because right now, definitely Bitcoin. But the one thing I like about Bitcoin is you can do the classic buy on the dip multiple times. So here, in Bitcoin, even on a let's say a 15-minute basis, each one of these, it could look for those entries on a sub-second level and scalp it and looking for those opportunities based upon the order book. Al's asking, does Kraken offer pooling subscription? Meaning what? That you have multiple bots trading in one account or multiple accounts trading in... as far as I know, no. It's a one-to-one relationship with your bot because, well... Yeah, I think it's one-to-one because if you have an account, you have access to an API. So what you're probably looking for is the equivalent of a crypto fund, like a hedge fund, where you just put money into a quote-unquote fund, and they may have like a basket of 5 coins or 100 coins that they trade, and then you make money through that fund, but not through the exchange. So I guess the answer is no. You'd have to look at a fund to do that. Anybody else got questions at all? I mean, we got a lot of, I'll say a lot of people, 9 people, but to hold the attention of people this long. I'm pretty surprised. We've had Boyd again and Addy as well. We've had sessions for 6 hours, so bring it. But everyone's got to go to work tomorrow. So I mean, I could go on and show you different things, but you wanna follow the money, and right now you want to follow the easiest path to money. And to be truthful, right now this week is definitely Bitcoin. And then be it in first week of December, I think the next nice coin is Ethereum too. And then what comes out of that with the new DeFi projects. And some of the DeFi coins I've already talked about will do quite well as well, I think. And that could progress for the next 3 to 6 months. But looking at the volume level right now, Bitcoin, I really didn't think it'd be over $1 trillion in one day. You know, it was like $500 billion and $750 billion, but 1.4 trillion. Ooh, that's a lot, and a lot of people are making boatloads of money from it because of that. And Ethereum's doing okay, but it comes back to which do you prefer? Make a boatload of money with Bitcoin, or do you make a boatload with Ethereum? And you could do quite well with Ethereum, but as I said, choose the easier path, Bitcoin, right now. But that could change, you know. Because when you look at Bitcoin on a daily basis, it does drop. Okay, I'm not going to lie. You look at these, this was a 40% drop. So that went from 10,500 on February 14th, and that was now knocked back, 30, 40%. 60%, is it? Yeah, so it's about close to 50% in a matter of, a month. So that can happen. But I do think that there's enough coins out there, what I'm seeing, that there are coins that will go against the grain and perform. And yesterday was the first test that my thing went through, and it didn't lose money, and it made a couple $100, not a lot. The volume was lower here on the 15th. 19 positions for Bitcoin. So the win ratio wasn't as strong because it was an environment of dropping knives, but still came out 63%. And since I've seen that, I've put a fix in to prevent that from happening. So hopefully that fix will fix that, and just minimize the losses. But it still was up $284 for the day, which is pretty good when you watch how much Bitcoin has come down over the last few days here. But I mean, look at the recovery; it's huge. That's because of the volume and the liquidity. Just money's literally being poured into Bitcoin right now, and this is before the retail and the dumb money pick up on it. They have that fear of missing out, and that's when you see potentially Bitcoin going from 16,000 to the crazy, like it did here, from 4,000 all the way up to 18 grand, and that's there's that FOMO movement, and you're going to see this here as well. Okay, Al's got to go, I guess. Have a good night. Thanks for the help. No problem, man. Anybody else got any questions? Have a good night, Al. Thanks for the questions too. Thanks for coming down out. Email if you got further questions. Anybody else got any questions? As I said, I'm setting up the bot as well. Right now, if you're new to all this, I'll put this in the bot. This is my little, feed my dog kind of business. Let's see here. That's not going out. It's where you want to. Yeah, here. So you want to take a look at the quantlabs.net, and then I've got like free PDF books, and okay, here's hopefully this will go up. Okay, there it is in the chat, the quantlabs.net, and right now what I'm doing is I'm talking to people and I'm putting out a set of questions for people to answer, and then that gives me an understanding of your story. And if you want to move ahead to build, like I said, a custom trading solution to pick up these signals, I'm building that right now, and I will have a deal on Black Friday in the next 2 weeks. I think it's November 27th. So I'll be going full tilt on that, and that'll give you a full year access to everything, including I got like 7 courses, and it's a lot of information. So if you're into that, get in touch with me. So if anybody else got any questions, or let me know. And as I said, if you want to sign up to anything I've got, like I said, just go to this site, quantlabs.net. You can opt in, and I've got your info. I don't resell it. I don't do anything with it except just email you, and you're good to go. The other thing is I have other people. I've got this group here, the programming group. It's called Quant HFT. I can put the link in there if you're into it. That's got, I don't know, 13,000 people in it or something like that. And then there's my Quant Labs page as well that I can show you on Facebook as well. And then I have also, let's see, where is my Quant Labs net page here. I'll put that in the chat as well, so you can capture that. And then also YouTube, I'll put all that in there. So if you don't want to sign up to anything, that's cool. You can just watch this stuff, and I'm pretty active on YouTube for all that. So there's different ways to track what I do, as well as I have Instagram as well. And I have my little dog on there as well if you want to see him. It's a 13-year-old Chihuahua that we got in February. So I put up the bots here, and this is a little dog as well. So I'll put that in there as well on the Instagram. So if you guys want to partake in that, it's up to you. It's all in the chat. And if you guys got questions, like I said, it's an open-ended discussion. One other thing before I forget is I have been analyzing. Sorry about this bot business, but I have put out questions on Coinbase and Kraken. So there's a video on that. This is just from today as well. And I've also talked about the global markets. So I could talk about that now if you want. Let me see. Yeah, so this is with Oanda. I put out a video on this, so we're going to get into the world of Forex and commodity. So what I do is I do live scanning of CFDs and Forex in the markets with Oanda. And the reason why I use Oanda is no different than I would put out there for Kraken, because half of my audience, more than half of my audience, is American based. They don't have access to FXCM, but they do have access to Oanda. And Americans can be able to trade as well with Oanda with Python. So that's why I use Python. But in Europe, FXCM is the bigger, higher volume Forex broker. So it depends where you live. And I just talked to the guy in Malaysia. He was with XM. Now, I wouldn't recommend you trade with retail Forex brokers. They're just, I won't go in it because I'll be sued. But what I do here with Oanda, I can use the data. So for instance, I do these harmonic scans with MotoWave, and then that will give me an idea of where money is going. So what I can do here is I can do, I believe it's 120 different instruments here. So there's like Forex pairs, there's CFDs, which is the same thing as saying commodities. So for instance, I can see here how the markets are looking with these pairs. So I got Europe, Britain, I've got Australia, New Zealand, Euro, Swiss franc, and I can see here that these are long. So you'll see here, here's the current price, and there it'll do a scan of whatever harmonic it is, and then this is the target price of where it thinks the value of this price will go. And I've been tracking it for a couple of months. I have to tell you, this is so unbelievably reliable, okay, in terms of market direction for a lot of these coins and what to trade. So if I was to talk about all the crypto opportunities out there, that's one thing. But let's say, for instance, this one right here. This is XAU CHF. So this is now gold in Swiss franc. So what I told the guy from Malaysia, and he did really well with USD and Japanese yen. He did amazingly. And then it was done with MetaTrader. He bought one of those, what they call them, the extension or the third-party bots are. It went from $500 to $5,000 in 10 months. And then the thing died. It broke down and he started losing his money. He doesn't know what he's doing. But what I was telling him is that the problem is that the markets change. And the good thing about a Forex pair or a commodity, there's usually a story on why there's going to be a move. Up or down, short, long, doesn't matter. There's a story here. So what I told him on something like this, what you're looking at in gold in Swiss franc. But mind you, I can show you other gold commodities like, let's say, XAU Hong Kong dollar. It's a short. Or the yen, it's a long. Or here's a long in the British pound. Or US dollar, it's a short. And this is the same gold in a different currency. So when you come to the top here and you look at this one I mentioned, the gold in Swiss franc, or was it XAU CHF, there it is. So here's the story of this particular trade. So this means money will go up. So it's going to move from 1720, target of about 1790. Here's the thing. Why is this going to move up? This is what we call hot capital order flow. This is where the institutions are putting their money. If I went through that entire list, there's not one USD market. So we've talked about the USD. It's at an 8-month low. Here you have gold. Out of the different currencies, you have the Swiss franc. And why is this number one out of all the different currencies with gold? The reason why you have Swiss franc here is number one is because Switzerland is the number one country that stores highest amount of gold privately in the world. That's why you're getting this trade, and it's moving up while the uncertainty in the markets are starting to come in. I think I had a comment, was it from Faye? Great sharing. Thanks, Brian. I'm a non-coder. I'll be looking out for services for non-coders. Yes, I like your MotoWave scanning tool for market direction. Thanks, Faye. So another good example is this one, platinum. Okay, we have another long here. Again, I could put a story. It's a precious metal. It's moving up. But mind you, when I start to look at, let's say, silver, all the different silver here, XAGU, euro, it's a short. Again, what I'm saying is we have our target price is below our actual price. That's a short. And this is where the scans are picking up where potentially the hot market, hot order flow is moving. So a good example of it is, as I said, you have excellent score, very good score, fair score. Okay, so you have a different breakdown of different ratings. And I just focus primarily on excellent and maybe move into very good because the very good could move into excellent. So it's a timing thing with a very good score. But what I'm finding is you get, let's say, XAU, which is gold and Swiss franc. We have platinum and US dollar as well moving. You also have here, now this is the key, Treasury as a safe haven move. You got two Treasuries moving up as longs. We have the 5-year and the 10-year, right? So we know, and the 30-year as well. So we know the hot order capital is moving into Treasury, okay? We also know it's going to move into platinum, and it's also moving into gold, but in Swiss franc. Okay, so when you look at, let's say, gold in US dollar, you can see it's a short. It says something about the currency. So people will put money into gold, but only hold it in Swiss franc, but not hold gold in US dollar. And there's a whole mixed bag of if it's Canadian or British or Euro and so on and so forth. So these are different ways to figure out where money will flow. Terry asks, great summary here. Some questions. Are you using MotoWave to place trade only and strategy build with Python? Would you recommend Python over building strategy of MotoWave? Which package of MotiveWave do I need to purchase to get Harmonic for our scanner? Okay, I'll answer all that in a minute, but I just want to finish my story. Thanks, Terry, for the questions as well. So here we've got gold, silver, and there's a mixed bag of silver and gold, right? So you can watch using these things, and they're unbelievably reliable. So, for instance, during the election, once Biden was announced, he's going to be actually, I should say, Sunday prior, November 3rd, the number one asset out there was Russell 2000. Okay, that was the number one, was not the SPX or the S&P 500 or NASDAQ. It was the Russell. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. But by the end of the week, the number one index in the U.S. that was traded was the Russell. Wasn't anything else. It was the Russell. And that told me right then and there, before the election, that people were loading up on the Russell 2000 and making the best performance was with the Russell 2000. And that's what it was telling me the Sunday night before November 3rd. And it was like that throughout the whole week. And when you look at that, all the U.S. market indices, the Russell 2000 was the number one U.S. index. So that says it right there that this is pretty reliable. So let me go back to the questions on this. And if you want to know more about this from the video I did today, as I said, I got a video right here on my video channel right here. How are the global markets compare to winning Bitcoin crypto trading bots? We know that the crypto trading bots will eat the returns of the Forex and CFD stuff. So let me answer Terry's question. So another thing for people, if they're interested, I have a website called quantlabs.shop here. And this one, I'll put in the chat again. So this should answer a majority of Terry's questions. So in here, what I've got is the question between Python and MotiveWave. Depends upon your background and your history. We've got one person who's highly motivated. They know who they are. They're right here at 4 a.m. Some people know who he is, and he's been working a lot on MotiveWave. And I salute the guy for his work ethic. He's done amazingly well. So if you're like that, willing to learn a MotiveWave and go into the Java API or the software development kit with MotiveWave, you could probably do really well with MotiveWave. If you have the technical chops with Java and you're willing to put that work in to understand the SDK of MotiveWave. But out of all the platforms out there, I will have to say MotiveWave is easily my favorite my favorite platform out there. Okay, so if you're a non-coder and you may want to play around with it with the automation, you can easily use MotiveWave. Now I'm just going to jump around with Terry's answers here. So with MotiveWave, what you have is you have multiple editions of MotiveWave. So for instance, if you want to do the Harmonic Scans, there's different editions to do that. So if you want to do that, you'd probably want to look for the automation Harmonics tool pack. So you'll be able to get that with a standard version, which will run you, let's say, $250. I think that's what it is. It's a steal for that, but you're not going to be able to do orders. Okay, so you want to do orders, you have to move up to the next edition, which is this one, the order flow edition, which is roughly about $500, and that's with the scans. Now, if you ask me what edition, I think you want to go all out, get the ultimate. That's a $2,600 product, but you don't have to buy that right now. Okay, so it's a like I said, sorry, $2,300 product. I'm not saying go out and do that right away. If you're on a budget, I would probably play around with the community edition. It's free. See if you like it, and then just gradually move up to the features that you like. Because here's the thing with MotiveWave. Even if you wanted for $250, you get access to the Java SDK, and you're also going to get 290 built-in studies and indicators, or studies as they call them. Okay, 290, and a good chunk of them you're going to get actual source code with. So because of that, you'll be able to play around with all this, a majority of studies you can get. So here with MotiveWave, it's I'm going to tell you, I've had MotiveWave for a year now, I've not gone through everything. It's just so much. It's just, there's like 300 plus studies here, and then you got the strategies as well, which are the automated ordering of the study. That's the terminology from the world of Motive Wave. So you can start at any edition you want. I mean, you will be overwhelmed, no doubt, if you went with the ultimate. Okay, but I'm just showing you one tiny little example of what Motive Wave can do. I mean, if our guy wants to step up and jump on, he can come on and explain his story with Motive Wave. It's up to him. Well, boy, you're on like, what's your story with Motive Wave?
No, I haven't done much. I'm so swamped to so many things. That's my problem.
That's with Motive Wave, you mean? The functionality?
No, I haven't done a lot with it because I've just got so many things on the go.
Oh, outside of Motive Wave trading, yeah.
Yeah, outside of Motive Wave,
Yeah,
I do
there's-
so many things.
There's this thing called life.
Options.
Yeah, but from your experience so far with what you've seen with Motive Wave, I mean, you have to admit that it has a lot of potential, whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, you just have to find the time to
Yeah.
to go through it and figure out things by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you're saying, the other gentleman has been spending long hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. And
you
he's
have
put.
to find the time. You know, it's
Yeah.
a power of two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
So to go back to the question of between Python and Motive Wave, we kind of already answered it throughout this webinar. If you want to trade in futures with Binance, you can't do it. I'm talking about crypto futures. Kraken, they do support Kraken, they do support Coinbase, and they do support Binance. The thing is that it's only spot. Now, I was told that people out there were demanding them to move into crypto, and they also have a Linux version of this, so it's the only platform of its kind that offers all the Windows, Mac, and Linux. Not only that, but all the different brokers that you can connect into, be it futures, options, Forex, they have it all. I mean, I could go on and on about just that alone. And then on top of all the types of studies and strategies and indicators that you get, plus with the source code, it's endless. It's virtually endless. They just did a webinar a week or two ago. The number of users that they have is now 50,000. So it's not like a small little platform anymore. It's getting big.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah. They also, just so you know, they did put up a video playback of that. Just email me and I'll get you the link on it.
Okay.
And it's on Futures.io. But it's an awesome video because they went through the order flow, the analytic, what do they call it, the volume, the order book breakdown. I'm going to be honest, it's so overwhelming. It's hard for me to consume it all. It's overwhelming. But that one little webinar will just show you a completely very powerful side of Motive Wave, where if you were to look at Motive Wave on its own, just for that, it's worth the $2,600. But I mean, that's just one little aspect. The back testing's unreal. It's just on and on I could go on about Motive Wave. But as I said, there's the futures market for crypto they're not supporting yet. But if people are watching what I do, just go to Motive Wave and let them know that you demand futures in crypto, and let them know you want to have it with the advantages I'm showing from the futures market in crypto. Because what you really can't do what I can with the kind of numbers I'm showing, you can't do it in the spot market. If you're trying to use the spot market data alone, you're not gonna be able to do it because you don't get the view of the order book in the spot market. Whereas now this goes into Python. Here, I've got a little course here on it, and it basically walks you through how to build a trading bot in Python. It is overwhelming, I'm not going to lie, but once you get past the framework and understanding how you can build bots like what I got, you're able to get into that mindset and be able to really get down to the nitty-gritty in Python and do a lot of things that MotiveWave's not going to be able to do for you. Because right now I work directly with the Kraken API, and I also work with the Binance API as well. So I'm not using any third party that this course would have. So that's the difference between the two that I'm mentioning here. So that kind of walks you through all the pieces of crypto. Now, if you're on a little budget, I do have these USB things. They're all the same. So if you want to get a little 1 hour video with some source code for MotiveWave, I offer that. If you want to get a snapshot how to do the same baby bot, I call it, in Python, these things have all those examples in the videos. It's like a crash course in both Bitcoin, in Python and MotiveWave from the programming side. So I offer that if you want to have that. And again, that's at the quantlabs.shop. I'll just put that link in there if you want. I'm not here to heavily promote it, but obviously I gotta eat and keep the lights on and stuff as well, so you will get the propaganda here and there. So I'm hoping that answers the first part of Terry's question. So let me just see. So if you were trading on Binance only for cryptos, would you skip MotiveWave and go with Python? Right now, based upon what I'm saying, you want to participate in the futures market? Yeah, Python's the only way to do it. When Binance offers it, jump on MotiveWave. If MotiveWave offers the futures market for Kraken or Binance, jump on it because it'll make your life a lot easier once you get past the understanding of the software development kit with MotiveWave. Just right now, I'd probably stick with with a Python. But there's some other advantages you can get with Python. It's lighter, and you're kind of directly communicating with the API. But obviously with MotiveWave, it takes away probably 90% of the stuff you would need to do with Python, but 90% of it's already there. Heavy lifting in MotiveWave, it's already there for you. That's a nice thing about MotiveWave. So the timing depends upon what you want to participate in. Do you depend on studies, order book, Elliott Wave studies on MotiveWave? Okay, this is a really good question. I'll tell you this, Elliott Waves may work for crypto. Okay, I cannot sit here and say, does Harmonics work for crypto? No. And the answer is, I don't think it will, because the pairs move around so fast that the scans are not able to adjust and keep up. Because if you do a scan on, let's say, Bitcoin, within 5 minutes, that scan is going to be completely obsolete. That's how fast crypto moves. So Harmonic Scans don't work from what I've seen with crypto. But does Elliott Waves work? I will say a half answer yes on that. I just never really dove into it. But if you want to play around with crypto and play around with back testing, play around with some other concepts, MotiveWave is definitely the place to be to avoid going down nasty 2-week rabbit holes of wasting your time. That's where MotiveWave will prevent you from going down, because you can conceptually visualize your trading idea and confirm it with MotiveWave. That's the advantage of MotiveWave, no matter what asset class you want to trade with. But the only advantage that Python offers is you get access to the futures market with crypto with the Python. So Terry follows up, which order book data source, futures versus spot and exchange, do you find most reliable for Bitcoin trading? Okay. I know we got people coming in and coming out. So to answer your question, Terry, as I mentioned earlier, if you go over to CoinMarketCap, let me just see if I have it here. Got so many windows right here. Okay, so if I was to break down the exchanges, so let's say we go into the exchanges for the derivatives market. Here they break it down by coin. Now, I don't know what your goals are, but if you ask me, out of all the coins to trade, I just focus on either Bitcoin or Ethereum based upon liquidity and volume. Okay, that's number one for the futures market. Now, which exchange? Let me just get rid of our background noise here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so in terms of safe exchanges with volume, definitely Binance, Huobi, is an answer to no. Their volume's starting to drop off because they just had a scandal. BitMEX, you may have heard about the scandal there. OKX had a scandal, and those are the top three largest futures market or derivative crypto markets. But out of those, the largest and safest is Binance. Now, if you're in the States and can only trade the States, as I said, you're only, from what I'm seeing, game in town is Kraken, but unfortunately the volume's not there. But you can still do well in crypto in Kraken, no problem. If you just focus on Binance and Ethereum. No, let me say it again. You'll do well on Kraken with Bitcoin and Ethereum, no problem on Kraken as a U.S. resident. Now, in terms of exchanges worldwide for futures, I would say for sure Binance is your best exchange because again, Binance is number one. It's the biggest. As I said earlier, it's about $20 billion between spot and futures, and they're the most trusted, and they don't have the problems that the Chinese-based ones have. So there's that. That's reliable. The ones to trust is Binance. Now, if you're American, it's no questions asked. Whatever you trade, spot or futures with Kraken, it's regulated. You're going to be protected in the U.S. And I also believe Canada and UK as well. So you're covered there. Binance, you're not covered. But do I trust it? Yes. But here's the thing. Do not put money into any crypto exchange or any broker, Forex or whatever, unless you can comfortably say, I'm willing to lose this. Now, chances are, will you lose it? In these times, potentially. But don't put your trust fund of your kid into these things because who knows what can happen. So hopefully I'll answer that question for you, Terry. Faye asked, this Harmonic Scan is provided in MotiveWave so it's able to see the charts you have. Yes. As I said for Faye, that is correct. So if you go back into MotiveWave under the pricing, let's see here. You'd want the standard. If you're just on a budget, you do have the Harmonic Scan package, which I believe includes what I'm showing you. But if you want to trade and do orders, as I said, you have to move up to this order flow package, which is about $500 for the year. Yeah, $595, $245 for the standard edition. So it's pretty cheap for what you get. And as I said, you're getting a lot of source code if you want to do the software development kit as well. So if you're not a programmer for the price, yeah, MotiveWave is definitely the place. And if you want to know more about MotiveWave, you just go into my playlist on my channel at the Quant Labs video channel, and you'll see I've got how many? Right here. Here's the channel, 134 videos of MotiveWave. So I cover a lot of aspects of MotiveWave there in that playlist, and it will overwhelm you. Like for instance, I love showing this with MotiveWave. I just love this package, this study. So if let's say I go back to Bitcoin USDT, okay. Let me just search for that Bitcoin USDT, do a search. Yeah, here. Let me do a Bitcoin search. Get rid of this and do a search. Let me try another one. I'll try Ethereum USDT instead. Okay, you know what? I can get around that. So let's say, I'm on the wrong session here. Okay, so if I went to the Bitcoin right here, went to, I don't know, let's say the daily chart, okay, or let's say an hour chart, okay, or this move is too predictable. So let me do a 15-minute chart. So, we can go back as far as we want, and then I choose this thing called, which I absolutely love, Unfortunately, it's in a premium edition. It's called, maybe you know it, it's called Hurst cycle. This is unreal. So this study has a lot of options available. So I'm just going to pick off everything because I'm going to show you everything available in this. Okay. And I still don't understand it. I'm sure what happened there. Oh, there we go. So what you're looking at is the Hurst cycle of projected moves based upon historical data. So when you look into the future, you can expect another leg up of, let's say, Bitcoin. Excuse me. Everyone thinks I got coronavirus, which I know I don't have. But anyways, here you can see this is based upon leg up moves, right? And these are fairly accurate of this Hurst cycle. So when you move forward, you can see the next leg up should be around the 17th of November based upon 15-minute chart. So this is one of those Hurst cycle things, and you're just looking for these little diamonds of when the next major move is coming. Is it accurate? Tough to say, but it's like you go here, December 20th, the next big leg move will be right here. The next one will be March 2021. And you can play with this at such levels of detail. It's crazy. That's just one study of, like I said, 200 plus studies. You can combine them with each other, and you get the source code, and you can build strategies to automate your orders from them. It's it's just unreal. And
Is that a leading indicator?
No, this is the Hurst cycle study, which is a study, and there's certain studies that MotiveWave will not give source code on.
Oh, okay.
Because they're premium, and I've asked for a few, and the answer was basically a solid no. But you'll still get a good chunk of them. Like, you can get the source code for, let's go through some of them, of the recent ones. You could get source code for this one, the Hilbert Transform, the ADX. I know the R-Rune, Rate of Change me might be able to get, the RSI. And you can also get source code for some of these as well. Okay, there's an RSI strategy you can get source code for. So having all that source code is a great way to really reverse engineer on how they do it. And not only that, but one thing I think a lot of people that I show this for is the optimizer, which is the equivalent to let's say I want to choose a study. I'll choose a simple study. This is the backtester. And you try to do this in Python with Quantopian, which is shut down, or backtester.com and any of the other ones. Trying to code these up are really hard, but watch. You want to do a backtest. You can put in all your parameters here, all your trading options there. Just click next. I always go with the default. I have little watch lists here. So I'll just choose, I don't know, just for the sake of time, I'll choose, let's say the Euro pairs, go next, choose the 1 day period, the bar type of data parameters. I can set the time period. So I'm just going to go to keep it really, so be able to pump through this pretty fast. I'll go, let's say, 2020. Okay, so we'll go to the start of, let's say the 1st of November to today. Okay, as the 2 week time period, starts it with $100,000. Fill on bid ask price. Off she goes, and there's my results. These are the best performing coins out there, or sorry, pairs. So knowing if I want to trade the RSI strategy, I just focus on the Euro Australian dollar at $100,000 with no leverage. I can expect $203 over 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. Know when it trades. It's unreal. Okay, and it will give me the trading, all the execution off of one trade for $203, and so on and so forth. Now, that took me, what, a minute? Try to code that up in Python with any framework or any package, that would take you weeks, let alone if you accomplish the task. Here we're doing it within, like I said, 2 minutes. This is the power of MotoWave and what it brings. So this alone, this optimizer is worth the money just to save you the time. And then on top of that, I can go through this same strategy and say, okay, well, I'm going to choose my strategy, do, I don't know, RSI again, RSI strategy again. Remember, you get the source code here. But this time, I'm going to do a walk forward. Again, just do simple default stuff. Look at the euro pairs, and based upon historical data, let me just go back to November, or yeah, let's just do that for the last 2 weeks, daily data, go next. This is a walk forward, and it'll give me a projection of what it thinks will be what happened there. Yeah, here's the walk forward right here. So usually it'll give me the best performing projected returns on all the assets that I put through the optimizer, the back test. And right there, this will save you a lot of time. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on with this, okay? And then you got all these components, and you can, you know, you got if you want to do like Fibonacci, which I like, you know, you can put them all here, go crazy, right? It's just this platform, no other platform exists out there, okay? I'm not saying that to brag or anything. It's just from my perspective, this is easily the number one platform, without a doubt. Like, nothing compares to it. And as I said, you can run this on Linux, Mac, Windows, with the Java API. I don't know where to start and end with this. It's just so much to it. Everybody that I know that buys it is very happy with it. It's worth the money. Just to research, prototype, and save time with. Yeah, even if you don't know how to program, this is the number one thing I can suggest. There is a better platform out there called Deltix, but I think I've talked about in the past. If you can afford $9,000 a month, let me repeat, $9,000 a month, that's for banks. That's the only other platform out there that would beat MotoWave. But for retail trading, MotoWave, hands down, number one, hands down. We got some MotoWave users here. If they want to chime in, that's cool. Is there an order book study like a heat map available for MotoWave? I believe so. While I have you here, again, I haven't really played with the order book at all, so that's a question I don't really feel qualified to answer. But if you go to YouTube, I think it's, let's see here, YouTube, MotoWave, I believe it's order book. There was a webinar on that. So if you watch this video, it's put out on Futures.io. If you want to email me, I can gladly get you the video, but it covers that whole topic. I think this one right here. Yeah, order flow tools to help you focus on your
trading. This is Terry with Futures.io, and as always,
yeah, this is Joe on the support team at MotoWave. I'll give you the link here. So this,
I'd like to thank you.
This is the video you want to watch to answer your question. I think
it's my pleasure to welcome you to today.
With confidence, I can say that this will accomplish what you're trying to do with the order book. But this is the most in-depth video that I've seen for MotoWave out there for order flow, and that's really built for options and for options and futures data. So if you go through the MotoWave connections, just see here, I've kind of gone through all the different brokers that MotoWave offers. Now, I could talk about this if you want. The connections are the brokers and the exchanges. So these are all of them. So if you look at the classification for the asset class, they do offer Optimus, and what's the other one? Dorman Trading, and another one that's very popular for futures trading. It's there, Stage 5, and a bunch of other ones. But MotoWave was originally built for futures traders and options traders. Now, if you are going to venture into the world of trading, the broker I would probably look at is this one, Canon Trading. And the reason I like Canon is because it not just offers futures, but it offers options as well. And with that, you get rhythmic data as well. I've talked to them. They seem pretty good. They're one of the oldest brokers out there that a lot of people don't know. And apparently a lot of the competitors, the large competitors, were mentored by the guy that runs Canon. So these guys have an excellent rating if you want to go with them. Now, that's with MotiveWave. So you have that available, and you have the rhythmic data. And this is where really MotiveWave shines. But I would watch that webinar video I just posted in the chat. I think, sorry, I'm posting them to somebody else. So it should be available to everyone now. Okay, so I just put it in the chat box there. So yeah, I mean, MotiveWave is awesome for futures trading. But here's the thing. Let me explain this very, very carefully, okay? I shown you the good old MotiveWave with Oanda, okay? I've looked at all of that fun stuff in Oanda. Let me just show you some of that. So all this CFD, Forex stuff, that's all fine and great. Yay. Okay. Would I trade it in Oanda, FXCM, or any of the Forex brokers? No. What I would recommend is you go through the list here and you have two awesome brokers. You have Interactive Brokers, and you also have IKEFeed, which it looks like they just dropped. No, it's DTN. I hope they still have it. Please. Okay, so that might be a concern. But anyways, let's just assume they support.
You need to go lower.
Oh, right, that's right. Thanks. Yeah, okay, so that would be, yes, IKEFeed. So this is the combination I am looking at with MotiveWave to do this. Now, there's futures trading and options trading. The problem I have with either or is the margin requirement, okay? Because if I want to trade in the E-mini of oil, I'm probably looking at $500-600 US just for one contract. Half of that is probably going to go to the margin requirement. So it's too much of a hassle, and you have to have a fairly big account to be exposed to that. So the idea I came up with is to trade in Interactive Brokers, and then lately, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the data problems that Interactive Brokers now charges, or whatever the story is with Interactive Brokers data. And even if that was the case, I still wouldn't use Interactive Brokers data because they aggregate it. What you could do is you could combine in one workspace in MotiveWave. You could use Interactive Brokers with, let me show you. Thanks to our participant there. Thanks for that. And it's IKEFeed. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Again, look at all these asset classes that IKEFeed covers. They cover stocks. So that you see all these check marks here. They cover all these asset classes: stocks, Forex, futures, indices, even, dare I say, CFD options, not crypto. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, so knowing that that you have IKEFeed covering all of these asset classes on top of Interactive Brokers being the same, that's a deadly combination to go with. So what I would do is use both those combos. Looks like Boyd has dropped off. Thanks to him for all that. Is to use IKEFeed as a data source and Interactive Brokers as the broker for the orders. What you could do, instead of trading with futures or options, what I would look at, and I'm still way early days for this, is to trade ETFs, okay? Because when you look at ETFs, you don't have the crazy future margin requirements to participate, let's say in oil, participate in gold, participate in specific indices, let's say the UK FTSE 100 or the Deutsche market or the Bund. There's an ETF for it. And chances are, with interactive brokers, you will be able to participate in that particular asset, in that ETF within interactive brokers. And the fees are very, very low. So you can get the same benefit as if you're trading with a futures contract, but in an ETF product, which is similar, pretty well the same performance. If you're in the US, obviously I did check it for US and Canada. There are some BlackRock ETFs. So, hey, that's a $4 trillion asset manager right there, the largest in the world. And if you can trade it in interactive brokers as an ETF, I would probably recommend that. I mean, their fees are going to be there a little higher, but they'll definitely be a lot lower than the futures and options brokers. That's just an idea I have, to be able to say, okay, give me the data with Oanda as in the same workspace, but trade using the IK feed market data and pay for the subscriptions that I want through IK feed, but then do all your trading through interactive brokers. You can do all that with MotiveWave. So what I would think of is if you take the concepts as I'm showing here in the harmonic scanning, these guys right here, be able to manually open up all the charts that I want to trade in, build a strategy that will focus on the equivalent ETF for, let's say, Euro Canadian, or in this case, silver and Singapore dollar. There may be an ETF for that, and open up that chart for that ETF and trade it automatically with some form of a strategy in an automated way by using these scans. And maybe, just maybe, there may be a way to fully automate the whole thing, because you're not going to be trading more than 10 or 15 assets. So you're going to have 15 charts open at once, and then you could just manually apply those strategies to those charts when the opportunity comes about. You can maybe long or maybe just short if the opportunity looks good, based upon these harmonic scans, to pick out which looks best. So the theory here is I have with that, when you look at the world of crypto, mainly Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum as well somewhat. Let's say you want to trade Apple. Okay, Apple is the largest, maybe Google, Facebook, and all them that are huge. They're going to have major liquidity. And if they're moving, and you take the same logic that I've got here for this bot, trade on the order book, maybe for the options, for the bid and ask spread, and volume in the world of ETFs, if you can get access to it and they offer that, why not trade it with the same principles? But only it will work, as I said, with the large instruments like Apple, gold like GLD, or an ETF for oil like USO, and they're very liquid, and you could probably save yourself a lot of fees because it's an ETF. So there's that I would think of to trade, and if you could probably do the same thing, trading an ETF for certain currencies as well. So as long as they're liquid, and I mean highly liquid like Bitcoin, and moves like Bitcoin, you could probably do fairly well with MotiveWave, applying that trading logic to the larger, higher volume, highly liquid pairs, whatever it is, through an ETF, and pay most likely a much lower commission fee than you would if you traded the real McCoy, like a futures contract or an options. Again, it's a stall theory, but that's what I'm thinking. So, just an idea out there for people that may want to trade MotiveWave and through an ETF with this kind of technique. And if people are smart enough and motivated enough, they could probably automate all of it through, as I said, through an automated strategy like this. Any of these. Just an idea with MotiveWave. You could kind of maybe do it with Python with interactive brokers because you got interactive brokers support with Python. I tried playing with it. It's pretty horrendous with Python. But there's that as an option. But you want my opinion, it's probably way easier to do it through MotoWave with the three connections being IQ feed for the live market orders, interactive brokers for your trading, and have it choose what you think are the best appropriate ETFs, and then using this right here, the harmonic scans with the Oanda, and if you could find ways to automate it, you could probably do quite well. And I'm seeing that with the Bitcoin, and that using that technique that I'm talking about is always on, because when you watch the one video I put up today on it is called hot capital order flow. It's always out there, and that hot order capital has to flow somewhere globally, and it's going to go a lot. And if you looked at probably the best one for safe haven is the USD Swedish. If I showed you like an hourly chart, it's a little flat right now, but this can perform nice when the market conditions allow it, and you could trade that quite well if there's enough liquidity in that pair. So it's these kind of things that I'm seeing in the markets, and it's always there. Meaning, a lot of these instruments and pairs, forex pairs, are always going to perform somewhere somehow, because the pension funds that put money into these their mandate is to always have a certain return, so they have to put that capital somewhere to get the return. So that's the story you'll get anytime, anywhere, any market condition if you follow that methodology with these different CFDs and forex pairs. That's in the mainstream world, and that's something I want to develop in the next few months outside of the crypto, because I'll tell you from what I'm seeing from the algo trading perspective, before MotoWave, you go down a lot of rabbit holes testing with raw code, be it Java, C++, or whatever, and realize that you put a lot of time and energy into something that ends up being a waste of time, which you don't want. So as a result, you have to be very choosy on what you do, so you don't go down those rabbit holes, and at the end of the day, you don't end up doing really anything and not completing any form of trading strategy or automated strategy and getting it completed. So you have to use something like MotoWave from a high level, be able to test it and just see how it plays out, and make sure that those market conditions are always there from today and 6 months and a year from now. Those same trading conditions are there, the same market conditions, and whatever you develop today will be still applicable, a year from now. Because right now, to be honest, and I'm being honest here, is yes, I've got a bot doing these kind of crazy returns, but as I said, that's not forever. That could end tomorrow. And with the other bot, it did end the next day, but it's still making pretty good return, and it's positive and profitable. But this one could end any day, right? And that's in Python. But that's kind of the methodology you'd want to look at. So Terry asks another series of questions. Python to IB requires to re-log in manually daily via 2FA, at least when I tried earlier this year. Which time frame does your bot run on the BTC trading? It depends on the exchange. Like I said earlier, I've struggled with a few things. The number one thing in Binance, which is very generous with their everything's sub-second, okay? Like everything's under a minute off of the order book. So if I ran the bot against the order book and just pound it, hammer it, it would last for maybe 2 hours. So there's that restriction on how much I can download from Binance. So I can download about a snapshot of 200 rows of the order book of whatever the asset would be. In this case, you said Bitcoin, be able to do that, but I can't do it every minute. I can't do it every even 5 minutes because the bot gets knocked out by the Binance servers. So right now I'm finding I have to pull it every 10 minutes, and that's really a drawback there. Now, if you're asking me about Kraken, it's just as bad. And that's where I trade in the Bitcoin Ethereum world. Binance is a little easier in the in the crypto, DeFi, and alternative coins. So you have that. The only way to get around it is to basically open up a second account and just focus on those particular assets that you know that perform and that give you the volume and liquidity, and just maybe have one account that focuses on one instrument. So you have, let's say, one account for Bitcoin and another account for Ethereum to be able to get around the restrictions. So instead of wasting 2 times the requests you're putting out to download, that will save you on the restriction side. So the other question is, do you use Binance order book for your bot? Yes, I do. That's for the pretty well anything on Binance in the Tether market, in the futures market. So that's that. Do you stream the order book data in Python via API or depend on Motorwave for data or another source? So right now what I'm showing with these bots, these two right here, these are 100% Python. They're nothing to do with Motorwave. So they're 100% Python. Okay. Can you do this sort of thing in Motorwave as I said earlier? No, because both these bots perform in the Kraken futures market, which Motorwave does not give you access. Okay, so with Motorwave, you only right now have access to the spot market of the crypto markets, be it Coinbase, Binance, or Kraken with Motorwave. So that's the limitation there. So all the data all comes from the exchange or whatever you trade with. There's no third party. There's none of that. It's just straight up from the exchange, and whatever I can live within the restrictions of whatever exchange it is. But out of all the exchanges, Binance is the most generous. Kraken they're not nowhere as generous. And as I said, I've got my bot now downloading every 10 minutes, and it's still getting knocked out. So I have to find ways to reduce those requests to the exchange servers. So that's a thing I have to work through, and that could take a week. And you're always tweaking the bots to get it better and better. As I said, as long as the market conditions allow. Now you ask, is the bot available for others? I kind of cover that already, where I'll have the signals go out via email, and I'm having the bots built either in Python or Motorwave. For now, it's going to be Python, because if you want to access the futures market, you only can use Python. So again, if you want to know, just send me these answers that you can find here at quantlabs.net/questions. I'll make that available to everyone again in the chat. And again, if you just want emails and stuff and whatever, I got this one as well. Okay, and that's how you can reach me. But right now, I'm purposely getting people to sign up via the questions, because if you go through the questions, they're very basic questions, but it gives me an idea of what to go through. No problem, Terry. We're down to like a couple people now. Thanks for hanging out here. It's 2.5 hours. So we've gone 3-4 hours. If you guys got any other further questions, let me know. I've covered a lot here tonight. How long will this particular Bitcoin Ethereum bot? I don't know. I can never guarantee it, but it's really strong right now. Like, I mean, really, I've been at this for 10 years, and I've never seen anything as strong as this ever out of anything I've seen trading. Nothing like this. I was excited a few years ago when I started out in crypto, but this is major. Like, being able to double your money with one Bitcoin within a week, to me, is unheard of. And at the same time, having something that gives you, like I said, like just today, a 92% win ratio with Bitcoin. But again, the market conditions got to allow it. Be it the liquidity's got to be there as well as the volume. Terry says 100% agreed. Were you trading your bot live today? Yeah, it's currently running right now. You probably heard in the background entry exit. That's the bot trading. But again, and I keep saying this, not real money. This is theoretical, but I will be pouring quite a bit of money into it, probably at the end of this week if it continues. I've not seen anything like this. So, and if I do that, and I'll still continue trading, I'll be having a third-party verification through cointracking.info for that. Yeah, thanks, Terry, for that. But it's exciting to see this, and as I said, I do see another phase of Ethereum taking hold, probably starting the first week of December with Ethereum 2 coming out, because they're going to have all the new features in Ethereum, the new blockchain, as well as all the other derivative Defy coins to come out with it. And you're going to see some amazing performers on probably Binance. Kraken, no, but Binance, yes, with Ethereum 2. And you can participate in the Ethereum market as well in Binance. So lots of options here. But for now, like I said earlier, this bot is prepared right now to trade Kraken, Ethereum futures market, and I think it's going to do really well. And I'll tell you, I just did on the video I did with a Malaysian guy today, I did an analysis looking at everything out there since the beginning of the year. What is the best performing asset, instrument, be it gold, silver, S&P 500, any of the Forex pairs? Easily, the number one was Ethereum. It had 170% return since the beginning of the year, with Bitcoin around 79%. Those are the top two instruments right now, anywhere to get the best performance. So that right there, that entry is the bot trading right now. Anybody else got any questions? I mean, 2.5 hours is cool. I mean, I've given you a lot of information here. If you want to go down Motivwave, and I think Motivwave is awesome at what it does. But right now, the futures market and the crypto right now is the place to be. And as I said, I've only found this by luck. Okay, this is not a lie. I've got a video here. If I showed you, I've got a video. Which one is it? This video started the whole thing about 3 weeks ago, and it was a video on Bitcoin that gave, by accident, I saw, holy, it just made $1,600 in 10 minutes. And I started looking at it, I'm like, okay. And I started looking at the order book, started dissecting it, and I started realizing with Bitcoin, the way it's been moving, you could make a boatload of money. Okay, and again, theoretically, 13,500 in 1 week. Today, 3,822, and I'm sure it's growing right now. And as I said on Friday, okay, $5,800. Okay, so those moves are just massive when it's working right. Yeah, right here, 58.48 was what was theoretically traded on Friday, the 13th of November. So that's the potential right now, but as I said, it could end tomorrow, right? I mean, let's be honest. But on the other hand, it could drop, which it did. Bitcoin did drop yesterday. It did recover, and it's on the march again. And as I showed earlier with the charting, is this the right? No, I gotta get my other session here. Right here. Okay, Binance. It's here. Let me get rid of all this crap. All this funky stuff that we don't need. I got another way to get around that. Okay, so if I open up BTC, USDT again. Now again, this is on Binance. You can see here that the market on a daily, it did drop a little bit, went up to 16,000, came back down to just under, so right there, 15,670 low, and look, it's bounced back again. So it all depends, but since October, it's bounced around a little bit between September, October 6th, is it? And it's just taken off since then. But that could come to an end. And historically, this is how it plays out. Okay? It moves up, okay, comes down, and then there's a big crash. So you have to be very careful there. But the thing I like about this particular bot that I've got, and if I tested that, theoretically, there's a fairly decent drop of a couple $100 yesterday. And it didn't trade as much right here. It only took 13 positions, but it still had an 84% win ratio. Or sorry, it had, it was an 84%. And it only made a couple $100, but still, in a down day, that's pretty good. So I don't think it would lose a lot of money in a down day, but on an up day, yeah, it'll do really good, as you can see, as I showed. So I'm just gabbing here. More questions. Thanks, Terry. I'm trading BTC futures on Bybit after BitMEX kicked off Canadians October 1st. Binance spot is awesome, but Binance futures has low volume. Bybit seems to have the highest futures volume accessible for Canadians. What's your opinion on Bybit? Can your bot trade on Bybit? I can just show you the coin market cap, and the coin market cap alone will answer your own question. So if I pull that up, I believe right here, right here. So if I look at, let's say Bitcoin, right here, Bitcoin by volume, number one as a Canadian we have access to is Binance. That's your answer. Be on Binance and nothing but, because of that sheer volume. Okay, Canadians have access to that. In terms of your Bybit, there's this one. So essentially, Binance is double Bybit. Here's the problem I have with these smaller unknown exchanges that just come and go, and I've seen this so many times. Bybit, this bit.com, BitGet, BitZ, Femex. Will it be here in the next 3 to 6 months? Probably not. And the true and tested one out of all of them is Binance. Okay, so you want my honest answer? It's been 2 years with Binance, never had a problem. It's grown like crazy. The fills are awesome. They seem to be pretty honest. You can talk to a support somewhat better than any other exchanges. So I would definitely look at Binance and sort of stay away from everything else. Because Huobi, as I said, has got a scandal. BitMEX we know about. OKX was the other one as well, all out of China. But Binance is still up there, number one. And I think they'll continue to be number one. Because we just went through the numbers of Binance, the daily volume. It's about $20 billion just in the last day. That's massive. So you want to be on a big exchange and a highly trusted exchange as well, like Binance. So I don't know if you're with Bybit or work for them, but sorry, but Binance is it. Yeah, Binance futures is also number one. And remember, for a long time, BitMEX was number one until the founder started putting his fingers in the cookie jar when he shouldn't have, and he got busted in the US. So that's why BitMEX is off, and I don't think they'll come back because of that trust factor. Another one that people say is decent is Deribit. This one looks okay, but it's only 423 million. So again, it's like, nothing compared to Binance. And again, these are the volumes for Bitcoin, right? Now, Ethereum's a different answer, but it's still number one for Binance. But again, coming back to the original title of this video or the webinar, which gives you better performance? Right now, hands down, Bitcoin. In starting, let's say, first week of December with the Ethereum 2, chances are you'll start to see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin. So because I'm on Kraken, I'm prepared for both, for futures. And I said the only reason I'm on futures with Kraken is because if I decide to support Americans have to be on a exchange in the futures market that's available for Americans. And as I said, Kraken is one of the only ones out there that supports Americans. So that's why I'm with Kraken. And the volume I've seen with Kraken is pretty impressive. And that's registered, that is protected. So Kraken's not a bad option as well. If you want to add the registration as well. And as a Canadian, you can have that. And you can actually trade Bitcoin and Canadian dollar as well. So Kraken's a good little exchange as well. So, yeah. It's not bad. Any other questions, guys? I know a lot of people have dropped off. As I said, now is it 3 hours? Yeah, two and 3/4 hours. I've done a lot tonight. No problem, Terry. Just so everyone else, these are private messages being sent to me, but obviously you're the one about because I'm letting you know. But other than that, if you guys have any comments or questions about all of this stuff, be it trading maybe the mainstream with MotorWave, I think that for me that's a little ways down the road. Or right now, I'll just stick it out with what I'm seeing with both the Binance little bot and this Kraken bot for Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is doing beyond exceptionally well. So, is there any comments or questions? If not, I can end it. Here's what I'm looking at doing next week. I'm going to probably make that session, if you want to participate in that, that's probably going to be more market hype to sell whatever solution I come up with. So if you want to participate in that, and I'll have updates of these bots, obviously on next Monday, but it will be more geared towards pitching stuff. You know, like I said, we all got to eat around here. So that will happen that night, but from a high level, what I'm thinking of doing is if you are interested in what I do, okay, like I said, I got this Quant Lab shop. What I'm probably going to do is I've got this service called Quant Elite, and this is the price. So that includes everything I got for 1 year. And the way it's going, if it continues beyond the next week to 2 weeks, live trading is verified now with a third party. I see no reason to start making all these prices double, triple, because I've got a track record now and I can prove it. So, you know, there are people out there that will jump aboard to kind of pay that. But towards the Black Friday, I'm looking at, you know, doing that as a final round to get in on this stuff. So I'm going to shut up about that, but I'll be talking more about that next week, next Monday. But at the same time, still talking Bitcoin and doing this stuff, but I'll be really, really pitching that next week. So if you want to participate, that's up to you. But that's what I'm looking at doing next week. Because right now, I mean, like I said, if you got 16 grand or whatever the Bitcoin cost, you know, you're going to make that back in a day, you know. And that's without leverage. That's without, and the Kraken leverage is up to 50 times. So if you just raise your leverage with a bot performing at 92% or 84% win ratio, and I have that confidence, yeah, I'll start using my leverage a lot in the futures market. That's why I do the futures, and be able to scale out the profit from that. So, you know, for that price I just said, it's a steal if you got that kind of capital available and be able to get the signals sent to you live. As well as I said, if you're a programmer, I mean, this thing covers everything. So Ari asked, what's the leverage the bot is using for those returns? There is no leverage. That's the whole point. There is no leverage. I mean, as I said, I've talked about earlier tonight, I don't know when you came aboard, but just look at this chart for Bitcoin. This says it all right here on the Bitcoin move on the daily. Okay, what you can just look at here is you see this is Bitcoin USDT. It's been it's been flatlining. As I said, this is why September was a bad month, October was a bad month until October 18th, and then look what it's done. It's been nothing up from 10K to 16K. So that is why those returns are there. That's why the numbers are coming back the way they are, because it's like you throw out money to the Bitcoin, it's going to go up. Like I said earlier, Bitcoin was about $16,300 at noon today, and it's already gone up to about $700 up $400 since 12 noon today. So when you look at, let's say, a 1 minute, okay, it's getting hammered right now, but you can see on a 1 minute basis these little moves. This is where the profit comes in, and that's what my bot's looking for. And when you're trading on the order book with the amount of volume and the liquidity of Bitcoin, it's just literally you're just throwing money at something, and the price will go up when you get the timing right. That's the key. And I mean, that's like, let's say you'll do a 15-minute chart. Look, I mean, probability you throw money at on a 15-minute chart, probability you're probably going to make money, a high probability. And that's why, as I said, you're getting the 80-90% win ratio, right? So that's how I see it, if that makes sense. But it should. That's like I said, the chart here speaks for itself. Ethereum's another one. Okay, I haven't really talked about Ethereum, but look at this. From November 5th, it's at 370 to 468. So it's gone up $60, which is what? 15-20% move. But here's where you really make money. Comes down, comes back up. So doing the classic buy the dip for Ethereum, that's where you're going to make money. It's just wait it out. Order book says enter your trigger here, boom, up goes your profit. And you see all just in the last week, all the opportunities there on an hourly basis where you see like 1, 2, maybe 3 and 4 legs of profit there. And then there's big one right here in the last week. And that's on an hourly basis, right? And then if you break it down to the 5 minute, I mean, this is just since today. 1, 2, 3, 4, and some smaller ones in there. So those are profit opportunities as time passes. And that's what the bot does on the order book. And that's why it does what it does. So right now, as I said, the win ratio for Bitcoin is very strong. But look, even Ethereum's doing really well now too at 83%. So when the market conditions allow it, and just trading off that order book, that's what you're getting right there is 83%. So that answers that, hopefully. Any other questions at all? Like I said, I have the gab, or the gift of gab. I could talk and talk and talk and talk. How long has it been back tested for? I'm only laughing at that question because, as I said, I'm not sure if you've seen this, and MotorWave with the back testing, I just did playing around with the back tester. I can do back testing for a minute and get results in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So I don't have to back test it long at all. But there is no back testing needed because it's nothing but up and up and up for the last week or so. So there's no back testing at all been done on it. And overall, most professionals will tell you back testing doesn't really need to be done because you could do the paralysis analysis by paralysis and keep going the way you do and think you got something and get sunk into that rabbit hole and waste your time on it. Meanwhile, you do what I'm doing and just trade it live, right? It doesn't have to be real trading. In my case, if you go under help here, there's a configuration where you can trade it, pretend you're doing live trades on the exchange, but it's in simulated mode. So there's no real need to do back testing here. I'll give you a special hint on back testing. Most people that do back testing are probably beginners at it and live and die by back testing. And when they put the solution out, once it's quote unquote passes the back test, usually the the bot or the strategy will die because they've already missed the opportunity to trade it while they're, I hate to say it, pissing around with the back testing. So you want to go in there, come up with a concept, back test it like with MotoWave, get the answer in 10 minutes, boom, 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 it's a valid idea, and then maybe code it up if you're really good at it, let's say in Python, in a day, 2 days, run it, tweak it as it's running, looks good, continue it, and just tweak. And that's where I'm at today, and it's been tweaked for a week now, and it's gone from a winning ratio a week ago when I started it, on this one with the Bitcoin, okay, the win ratios, very small amount of trades at 18, win ratio of 50, same with Ethereum. Next day you start tweaking it. Look, it goes from 92%, 94%, and you go, oh man, my tweaks are working. And this is in a work in a live trading environment, and you go, oh, there's some potential here, and you continue tweaking, and you're still 88%, 94% win ratio, and you go, is this real? And you just keep running it, and before you know it, it's working. But as I said, I haven't backtested this thing. I call it luck, probably in my favor, and here we are, almost doubling the return on a simulated account. So as a result, give it two, 3 more days. Yeah, I'll put live money into it because it's performing, and that's what I plan to do. So backtesting is just something you may not need to do, and even if you were to look at something like this guy right here, okay, and you do all your scans, all this stuff. This looks good. That looks good. I'll trade this. I'll trade that. Looks good. Next day, it's going to break down, okay? But what you're really looking for is something like this, okay? A consistent, predictable move that's long-term. One of them not talked about is sugar, okay? When you look at sugar, look at that. That's a CFD, okay? Since May, it's been nothing but up. You know, it doesn't move a lot, 95 to $1.50 in the CFD world. That's a big move since May. And I only discovered it by going through these harmonic processes. So now I see that. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't need to backtest that. There could be a number of reasons why sugar's moving. Another one I've not talked about is, again, because I know fundamentally, historically, this one's a good one. I think it's gold silver, yeah. So XAU, XAG, the gold silver ratio. This is a well-known one that Oanda offers. This one historically should be doing well. And I say that when you had that massive crash in March, look at that time period. It just went from $88 to $125. So it's gone up 50% during that crash in March. So if another crash comes and you know full well that maybe a crash is coming, start lining that guy up. And you'll start to see that in the scans that I do, in the harmonic scans as well. So right now, that's the sort of thing you look for, the predictability of it, and just showing you right off the bat, sugar is a good one, and maybe a good one to line up for the ultimate safe haven. If you trade in Oanda, this is the place to be, gold-silver ratio. And that right there, on that move, 50% move during a crash when everything else is crashing, 40, 50%, you play the other side of it with this one, and there's your safe haven right there. But will it happen again? I can never guarantee that. But again, if you look at other historical recessions and down moves, you can look for those moves. And again, you don't have to be a coder to figure that out. So this back testing process is, no offense, you don't need to go through and blow your brains out to go through back testing. You just got to know what to look for if you play with the charts. And you don't have to be a coder as well. And that's the thing. Here's the thing about trading and automated trading. I always say you can look at trading from 3 perspectives: from math, from computer science, and trading. And I always ask somebody, what do you think is the best world to perspective to analyze the markets from. And it always comes down to the trader. Why? Because the trader has the experience to know when and what to trade based upon their experiences as a trader. Forget computer science, forget the math. It's the trader that always wins. Like a really seasoned, really successful trader. It's a no-brainer. And if they know that this gold, silver on the next crash, that's where they put their money, or maybe you might not hear about it in the news, but sugar's a good one to be in as well. But you don't hear about that in the news, right? So there's things to look out for, but you just gotta look in the data, what looks good, what doesn't look good. But again, that's a pretty predictable trade to buy and hold as an investment. That's moved up probably 50% by the look of it, or just since May. Has the stock market done that? No. Has gold done that? No. Has oil done that? No. Has Bitcoin done that? Yes. But outside of a real world commodity, sugar's done very well. But would you have known about it? No. I just know historically that this can do well during uncertain times. I don't know why, but it just does well. And I only know it because of being on Oanda with the CFDs. So again, you don't have to be a coder to know that. And that you could put like $1,000 and you'd be up $500, or $10,000, you'd be up $5,000. So that's the best place to be, is to put on your trading hat, not your computer science or your math hat, and that's how you do well. And you don't have to blow your brains out in the back testing and playing around with all these indicators as well. Just, as I said, if you were able to watch that video with a Malaysian trader, I told him, I said, every move, every price move, be it Euro CHF or whatever, has a story to it, and there's a story on why it moves. It could be a calendar event, it could be an exogenous event, it could be anything, but there's a reason on why it moved. Most of the time I won't know, but some of the time I will. So for instance, one of them, let's say copper, which is, I believe, let me just see here. We'll do copper is, as I said earlier, is a leading indicator of, how do I do this? Now, I do have to say, Oanda is pretty good on the CFD front to know where to play in. So commodity, so I'm looking for the symbol here, commodity trading. So I just need to know the symbol name for copper, which is, let's see here. I know copper's in here somewhere, so we want metal. Where's the metal? All other CFDs. Anybody see copper? I know copper's in here somewhere. Or did they get rid of copper? Let's see here. Here it is. So copper is, I don't even know the symbol name. I know it's XAU something. Let me just look it up there. But copper is a good one that is a good input into manufacturing. And when manufacturing starts to move, let's see here. Search XAU, that's gold. XCU, that's it. That's the one. This is for copper. Okay, so XCU, 1 day move. Look at that. Another nice move up for XCU. So right here, this is copper. So copper, as I said, is a leading indicator for manufacturing. And when copper moves, that tells you manufacturing is moving. That means companies are manufacturing product that eventually comes to market. And what happens? Their stock price goes up. So it's all what they call the value chain. And when you see copper move up like that, like it is doing, and that's a very nice move again from April. You might not see it in the U.S., but that will be China. A lot of that will be China. And when you look at the Australian dollar on that, you'll probably be able to see a pattern between the two, because the number one country in the world that has the largest copper supply is Australia. So look what happens. Australia and copper are very similar, okay? The moves are very similar, and there's a reason for it. As I said, the story is China is importing copper to manufacture because now the pandemic's come and gone, in China at least, and now China needs to import copper, which is from Australia, and the Australian dollar moves because of that. Just one example of what you can look for as a story on why things move the way they do, just as an example. And that's why you'll see the Chinese yuan move, not just because of that, but of the digital currency. And I could go on, but there's that relationship as well. And if I showed you oil price, let's say WTI versus USD against the Canadian, which is a commodity currency, specifically based on oil for the Canadian dollar, you'll see the relationship between oil, WTI, and USD CAD. So there's these relationships that play in with commodities against the currencies. Another example would be something like, let's say, gold. So if I go XAU USD, right, here, and I go, that's the move of USD, and I wanted to show, and I can do this thanks to somebody out there telling me about this, I can do an overlay study. Believe that's the one. Overlay. Like it's over something, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to show that. But you'll get the idea if I pull up US. So we have here. I just hold on here. I'm losing track. I'm losing my mind here. So if I was to show you, XAU USD, right? So then let's say if I showed USD against maybe Japan. This may work. I don't know. I've never seen. You'll see it's not quite lined up properly, but gold usually moves indirect with the US dollar. Okay, so when you see the US dollar and Japanese yen, that means both currencies are dropping, which they are. And then if the US dollar drops, gold usually goes up. That's theoretically how it's supposed to work. But the other big factor that people might not know is when US dollar drops, guess what goes up? Bitcoin. And that's what's going on right now. So that's another way to watch crypto, specifically on volume. If the US dollar goes up, crypto volumes drops. And the reason for that is it's because, again, institutional. The institutional traders are not what I would consider the smartest people in the planet, because they could just trade the US dollar. It's an easy trade. It goes up, it goes up. Everyone's happy, they get returns. But now it's been proven is if the US dollar goes down, where do they put their cash? Right now it's proving to be Bitcoin. So there's now seems to be an indirect relationship between the two, and the same with volume as well. And that's another reason why I think Bitcoin's moving up. That's all related around the US dollar. So if US dollar drops, Bitcoin will go up, and so will the volume. So another lesson of trading, I guess. That, again, I'm not an expert in it, but it's just what I'm seeing. But that copper price and the Australian USD, there's definitely a relationship there, no doubt. As I said, if you know these relationships, as I said, and you got the trading hat, you'll always win over and over again. But computer scientists won't know that. Mathematicians won't know that. But traders do. And those are the easiest trades in the world. You don't have to blow your brain again as asking about back testing or math or whatever you want to throw up. As if you know the trends of the market and why, and know the stories and the relationships, just as a trader, you'll do very, very well. But right now, Bitcoin's a new player. People are skeptical of Bitcoin, but from what I'm seeing, the numbers says it all. And Bitcoin is getting recognized among all the major institutions now as a place to hide out in, specifically now. Any other questions, comments? I know I covered a lot here. But, that's what I try to do, is build a community like this by doing these webinars every week, which I didn't do last week because of the Bitcoin bot that I was working on. But like next week is going to be just kind of marketing and getting people signed up to the private stuff, because I do have a private chat server. It's not on my WhatsApp, but it's a private chat server that I own, and everybody gets signed up to that and get access to that. And that you can talk freely on anonymously as well. No one will know you, and it's not tracked. You don't have to worry about anything on that chat server. The best part is nobody knows about it as well. Any other questions at all? If not, what I'll do is I'm going to shut up now. I usually do it going once, twice, 3 times. If there's a question, just jump in. Otherwise, we'll give it a wrap for tonight, or wherever you are. If you've been watching all this time, thanks so much. Now it's just over 3 hours as usual. It's a long night for me. I don't mind doing this, and I actually love doing it. Thanks for being part of it. And if you're not on the WhatsApp group, you can get on that by just going over to, let's say, the quantlabs.net blog, and you'll see that link right there. Join our WhatsApp group, and then that will take you over to the invite link in your WhatsApp and get you all started on the WhatsApp group. We have like 120 plus members now, and that's a fairly decent little group. Again, I put the marketing propaganda in there, but it's just I think a lot of people, well, not a lot, but a few people do talk freely on that group. So any other questions? So do it once, twice, 3 times. If not, we'll do a wrap. So do it going once, just like an auctioning, going twice, going 2.5 times, going 3 times. So no questions? Okay, so let's call it a wrap for tonight. Guys, thanks so much for being part of this. As I said, I've given all the links privately. I will give you my email here, because the good old bots now and spammers will get a hold of it. Otherwise, I'm not going to say, but there you go. If you're on the group, if you want to email me your questions, that's cool. If you want to reach out and talk to me on the WhatsApp group, that's fine. Facebook as well. I'm around a lot, and I try to be really responsive to folks out there. So we'll call it a day. Hopefully you got a lot out of this. I'll be hopefully getting the video out of this, so I'll post it on good old YouTube or a podcast, if you know about that link as well. And 3 hours of fun and joy tonight. All right, so we'll give it a wrap again. As I said, thanks for watching this. I really highly appreciate you being part of this. And what I'm going to do right now